Alrighty. So, it has been a couple weeks. There's been news of the Uzan lands have been retreating, just sort of the Uzan corruption has just sort of been decaying away on the land, and it looks like the wildlife has started returning back to normal, although it looks like corruption, like the corrupted animals, it's more or less permanent for most of them. So it'll be like a woodland generation before everything's completely back to normal out there. Fortunately, deer don't live more than about, 15, 18 years on average,
Less if I have anything to say about it.
unless if you have anything to say about it. Let's see here. I need to actually advance the date token here so I remember that it is. There is mid-February. The new moon is tomorrow night. And Varg, it's midday, and you're just out and about doing your thing, possibly with your retinue. You're the rest of the group is probably not still in Sialanen, but everyone would have, forwarding addresses, such.
Yep.
It's possible that everyone's, in Freeport, Helmrise, or even Ketlir.
Varg would probably go back to the our mansion because honestly, he's not welcome anywhere. He kind of knows that, and that's about the only place he can think of that no one would get pissed off and tell him not to smash this or break that or eat that or da da
Like the
da da
Aurelian
da.
estate?
Yeah, I have the staff for it. Never got rid of it. So yeah.
Alrighty.
It's essentially my house. I
So
live there.
Jeg is probably cooking you a brunch or a second breakfast.
Kind of like third breakfast, pre-brunch.
When you're interrupted by a soft, distant chime sounding in your head, followed by your vision filling with delicate calligraphy. The following message appears in your...
Jorg checks to make sure he hasn't gotten to the special plants.
And this message appears in your field of vision.
Yeah, that feller.
Hey, the Thorax kid.
Oh, hold on just a second. I need
Grandmother in Blackwater. Dark sky. Wait a second, King Kai? Sorry, no, it's not.
Yeah. Hold on just a moment. I just need to repost that so that the stream gets it. There we go. As that is ascending, you have the option to reply with a message up to 25 words.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I just need to think how to word this without looking too stupid. Let's go with this. How many words? 15?
25.
Ah, okay, that's a little easier to work with. That'll be right.
Will use your name to locate grandmother. Not responsible for damages to stick/object used to whack my head when offense is taken at something. Wonderful.
Covers most of the areas. Varg's usual business transactions usually involve someone trying to whack him on the head. Usually the thing ends up breaking or he breaks it. Well, after pre-brunch and a bit of tea, I think I'll head off to Blackwater.
Alrighty. How are you traveling to Blackwater? Blackwater, if you're on the world map,
Dumb question. Can jub birds fly? I don't remember if they could.
I do not remember either. Their size tells me they might be flightless, actually.
We fought them, but we were in a cave, so I don't know. I'll look them up.
Yes. Either way, Blackwater is opposite Freeport on the Circle C.
I can fly at 20 feet, but it's poor flying, so that's not a bad idea. Even though they're probably the most colorful bird I can turn into. Yeah, we'll just go with my classic big screw-off eagle.
Alrighty. That has a fly speed of what?
Yeah, 80.
Alright, flying 24/7, that should take you 6 days.
I wasn't aware I was in a rush. I'm going to enjoy my time flying. I'm just going to kindly soar around, stop for meals. If I see any orcs or goblins, point them in the right direction, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's going as the bird flies. Eagles have to land to sleep and whatnot. You can't cross 240 miles of Circle C as an eagle. Maybe as a gull.
Alright, fine. Where the hell did I put Windwalk? Don't seem to have it prepared. I don't know. If I can't Windwalk there, how the hell do I get anywhere? Alright, that's fine. Going back to the College of Magi at Seolanen. Have them cast Windwalk and or teleport on me, and I'll get there that way. I had a way to get to Seolanen at least quickly, and that's the one I chose.
Mm-hmm.
The one teleport I get, I might as well use it. Didn't have them shove me off to Blackwater.
So I'm guessing you're not a druid then?
I am so a druid.
Okay. I'm just wondering why transport via plants is never on your schedule.
I don't know, Varg never thinks of that. There's other things to prepare.
How big is the magic hall to Seolanen anyway?
It's... let's see here. The building itself takes up probably about 3 acres. Contains a library. Well, if you wanted to say, if you wanted to compare libraries strictly by,
okay, this is why it's on this fucking list. It's a 6th level spell, and I have a limited selection of those, and I need most of them for other things. Stonewall mostly.
Who the hell is doing renovations?
Hold on.
There is a horrendous screaming and winding of circular saws behind you.
Yeah, I hear it. Hold on.
Gotcha.
I ask because if the library is big enough that Ikorio could not go through all of it in the amount of time it's been, he'd probably still be there.
Yeah, that seems legit. Yeah, it's a big library. Like there is the collected writings and journals and books of probably about 2,000 years of elven history's wizards collected here, in addition to whatever research is done all over Hlosterin that gets submitted for publishing here.
Then yes, he'd likely still be there. Whether or not Varg would run into him, I don't know. But
Well, that's not going to go away anytime soon, unfortunately.
Roger that. Okay, so Varg recalls himself back to Sealanen and
Grabs the first mage he says, demands teleportation to Blackwater.
The proctors and porters of the college in Sealanen are beginning to get used to you guys, and especially the way Varg tends to approach problems, having now
Head
had
on.
to put up with you guys several times for extended durations.
Does anyone really blame Var for taking all of his problems head on? I have a problem. I present the problem to you. Fix it.
Yep. The porter who you assault after a couple
Today.
moments realizes who you are and says, all concerns to do with you are officially supposed to go through the through the please come with me, sir.
Are you a mage or aren't you?
No, sir. I'm only. This is my first year here.
So you're a cleaning boy?
Well, right now I'm just carrying this gigantic armful of scrolls, but yes.
What are you doing in a mage college if you aren't a mage?
Becoming, sir.
How long have you been here?
But my apprenticeship was accepted last November.
By the time I had spent 3 months out there, I was able to use my power to turn into a crocodile half this size. What can you do?
He tries to stuff all of the scrolls under one arm and, looking slightly uncertain with himself, gestures his free hand about a bit, and a very convincing-looking pork chop appears in his hand.
Is that real?
He shrugs and waves it over his shoulder, and you see it passes straight through.
Nah. If that was real, I was about to say it was worth the time, but that's still interesting, I guess.
This way, please, sir.
Teleport where the damn can you. Alright, following. God damn it. It's faster if I pick you up, and he picks him up and puts him on his shoulder and just starts wandering whatever direction he points.
Knocking his head across a couple beams as you go.
Don't forget to duck.
this poor guy.
He leads you to an office where there's where none of the good furniture is. And there's a man there who has a large number of folders, and looking up at you, he immediately reaches over across his desk, flips through, grabs a folder out, looks through it. You are Mr. Varg of the Busy Bees?
No. I'm Varg Blood Drinker, Slayer of Jubilex. I have a fucking girl.
Yes, and this is the Ministry of Adventurers. We are recently formed in order to catalog and keep track of the goings on in the countryside around this fair city.
You can be the king of all the land, and I don't care. I'm not part of anything called the Busy Bees.
You can file an appeal with the Office of Paperwork.
What's an appeal?
Something that you clearly slip on. What can I do for you?
He blinks, trying to determine whether or not he's insulted, and goes, well, he points to his shoulder and goes, figure out how to make this one teleport me things. I need to be in Blackwater. today, and I can't do it today, so I want someone else to do it today, and he can't, so you do it.
My file says that you have known accomplices. Do you not know where they are?
They're going the same place I am.
Well, then I suggest you go to the same place they are.
I don't know where they are. I look like their babysitter.
He reaches over, flips through his files. Miss Ripken was last sighted just north of Freeport, near the College of Dothrup.
That's
yesterday
nice.
afternoon.
Also nice. Teleport me to Blackwater. They have gotten the same message I have. They will go with all speed. I have no reason to wait around for them to come fetch me.
Indeed. Please take a seat in the waiting room. And he sorts his files back up. And he
I sit there like confused as hell, like, why? You're
Because
a wizard, right?
I am going to send for messages to be sent.
Yeah. Are you or are you not a wizard? Why did you bring me here? I looked at the guy on my shoulder. Is he a wizard or just something to delay me?
You notice that your shoulder apprentice has disappeared sometime while you were caught in conversation with
Damn
the
it,
clerk.
I want him back. He made sense. I look back at the other guy. You're a wizard. I want you to do a thing. Do the thing.
I am not a wizard, sir. I am
Then
a
why am I here
professional
talking to you?
paper keeper.
Okay, where are the wizards? I need to go talk to the wizards.
It is my duty and business to determine what wizards are necessary for wizarding.
What? Mark splutters for a second, trying to make sense of that nonsense.
Now, if you will please be seated, I can arrange for the proper wizarding to be done to see to your wizarding needs.
Proper wizard? I want to be teleported! Just pick the most powerful one that's available at this moment.
Sir,
What?
that is what I am in the process of doing. If you
No,
would
you're not. You're
please
sitting there
have a
with
seat.
paperwork. Mark doesn't know whether to be mad, insulted, or really, really confused.
He begins ignoring you and writes out a short message on a piece of paper, which he folds up, claps his hands, and the paper has disappeared somewhere, and he does the same thing 2 more times. He then sits there with his fingers crossed, waiting.
Mark just looks at him like he's a freaking alien.
And eventually, there is a small puffing sound, and a piece of paper appears in a basket on his desk labeled Inbox. He takes the paper, reads it, writes something at the bottom of it, folds it up, and holds it out to you.
Mark very tentatively takes it and reads it.
Please take this letter of recommendation and go to room 301 on the east wing.
What's an O?
It is a circular shape used to represent 0.
Why do you need a shape to represent nothing? You either have something or you don't.
Well, we had a shape, but it was too difficult to draw your skull every time we wanted to pass a message.
Why would you need my skull for? How do you know how my skull looks? Did lizard folk invent this concept?
Sir,
You have lizard folk here? Can I see them?
take
They might
the
make more
paper
sense than this.
and go to the room with the number 308 on its door.
I thought you said it was an O. What's a 0?
They are the same thing.
What? Well, how does the 0 look like? Does 0 look like an O?
The man at the desk touches his desk in a particular place, and you find yourself standing in the hallway outside his office.
I'm tempted to earthquake his entire house, but probably best I don't. I try and find this 301 place in the East Wing. I know where East is. I know what East is, but 301, what the fuck is this nonsense?
What's even more surprising is that it's room 308 you're looking for. You approach room 301, because you remember that numbers are a kind of thing that people write, even if
Yep.
you don't know their names. You approach room 301.
I look at the paper.
You notice it says 308.
I check 7 doors down.
You go 7 doors down and find room 308.
I knock.
Someone inside says, "Come in."
I open the door and shuffle inside, looking both confused and lost.
This room is not an office, although it has a small desk in the corner. It does not have a chair opposite it. It isn't meant to be accommodating. It is just somewhere where paper is written and handled, because in the middle of the floor is a very large red circle drawn on the floor.
Okie dokie.
The man gestures you forward. Could I have your letter of recommendation, sir?
Are you a wizard?
Yes, sir.
And you teleport me?
That is that. I believe that is why you were sent here.
Do I have to go to that asshole every time I want to see you?
No, sir. You have to go to the Minister of Adventuring.
What's a minister?
According to this letter, that is the person who sent you here, sir.
Do I have to talk to him every time I want to go somewhere with you guys?
Only if you want us to send you there, sir.
If I beat him in ritual combat, do I get his job?
I am afraid that the qualifications are more strict than that, sir. Are you ready to depart, sir?
If you beat him in ritual combat, do you get his job?
I'm
I'm ready
afraid-
to have just about anybody instead of him. He
I am
confuses
afraid
me.
the qualifications are more strict than that, sir.
That's annoying. Alright, I need to go to Blackwater.
I am afraid I can only follow the instructions on your letter, sir.
What's my letter say?
The letter says that you are to be sent to a Miss Ripkin near Dothrop.
I want to go to Blackwater. What part of that was not understood?
I do not have those answers, sir.
Can you teleport me to Blackwater?
I could, sir, if you
Do you
could
value
get
your limbs?
Yes, sir. However,
Then
I
you'll
can only
teleport me to
follow the
Blackwater.
instructions I was given, sir.
I don't care what you were told. I'm telling you, in your presence, willing to rip your arms off to teleport me to Blackwater. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm here for. And if I ever talk to one more person about this nonsense, I'm turning to the biggest thing I can think of and stomping on someone. Possibly someone valuable. Now me, Blackwater, now.
Yes, sir. Are you ready to depart, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Stand on the thing.
They go over to the edge of the circle, shake their robes ceremonial like, and get their arms clear of the sleeves, make a couple of gestures, and you find yourself just outside an unfamiliar city.
Time to go knock on the front gate.
The gate is open. There are farmers going through it.
Assuming they ignore the however the fuck tall lizard man who towers over them like a Godzilla. I'm just gonna ask the first person I see, is this or is this not Blackwater?
You approach a random farmer coming out of the gate with an empty cart, apparently having just been to market, and he says, "What's that, Gov?"
Is this or is this not Blackwater?
No, sir. This is carrots and cucumbers. I was just going back to the farm after market.
Is this town, I went behind him, called Blackwater?
No, sir. Sounds a rather foul place to me. No, this here's Dothrop.
You can probably hear my teeth grinding together.
You have a dental problem there?
Just an issue with some wizards. Carry on.
I never deal with them. Although if they want to buy my vegetables, that's another matter itself.
True enough.
If you're looking for a wizard, there's a college in town, yes, sir.
Is there now? Thank you for that. I pass him like 2 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Aye. Yeah, have you seen one named Aaliyah, by the by? Golden creature, wings, looks like an angel kind of sometimes, but not really.
I haven't seen anyone like that, sir.
How
If I
about a
did, I
whale
reckon
person?
they'd blow me head clear off.
Yeah. How about a whale person?
A whale? What's
Yeah,
a whale?
Big ugly fish thing with less scales. More blubber.
Not since the last time I visited my mother-in-law's, sir.
I give him another gold piece. Alright, you can go. Have a nice...
Although if you're looking for a mermaid out of water, there's apparently one about the college in town.
Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna head that way.
You have been to the College of Drothrup before, but last time you came it was by sea.
I wonder if they let me in, number 1.
Well, they did, but
2, that's
you
the
were
most
going...
blasé farmer I've ever seen. Does not give a fuck.
Well,
Go
you
through
noticed
life
that as
easy.
you head towards the town, you are being followed by a couple guards who just want to make sure that you plan on remaining civil.
I fully intend to up until I return to see Alana.
Yes,
You
you may well be
considerably less civil, and there's going to be blood on the walls and someone's head on a pike.
You may well be a giant lizard man, but you're clothed, and that makes a big difference.
That's comforting. Right, to the college, and if they let me in, I'm going to go try and find Aaliyah, assuming she's here.
Well, by the time you get to the college, you realize that you're much too tall to fit in any of the doors. But you do notice that Amesua is in the yard in front of the college. She's just doing some idle practice with some of the town guard, showing them proper technique with a spear.
I approach her and poke her in the back.
You don't get that close before she notices you coming. You're a bit
No,
large.
okay, well, I know. I don't know how focused she was on her task. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Oi, you get the head message?
I beg pardon?
Head message, the thing in your head when someone spoke.
Are you quite okay?
Roll my eyes and snort. Magic, what you do. Come on.
She should
I
just
work
put it
no-
slot so you can't pass the will save.
Varg, I work no magics at all. I simply convey the will of the universe underlying.
Magic.
Are you here looking for my Mistress Alia?
Partially, though I was wondering if maybe you got sent the magic message too. I suppose not. Maybe she did. Where is she?
She should be inside. Try the east wing. That's where the armorers are.
Alright. I shrink down to be able to fit, but even though I don't really actually have to because of compression, I can fit wherever I want, but
Yeah,
for the sake of letting people past me, in case they want to come
compression
the other
means
direction.
that you force your way through like you're made of jello.
Yes.
I think you want to shrink down.
Well, yeah, mostly to avoid having to crush people who are coming the opposite direction, yes.
Yeah, compression means that you become a gelatinous cube of Varg, not that you fit through the doorway.
That is a really awful mental image.
Yes, it is.
A cube-shaped lizard man oozes down the hallway.
Why does this stuff never happen when we're in dungeons?
Just doesn't.
I have no idea. Anyway, Alia is being fitted for her upgraded armor.
Hey, what's your opinion on the new college thing in Lanan?
I never upgraded my armor.
You didn't? I could have sworn you put something new on it.
No, I just gave her new armor.
Yeah, because her old armor got blown up. That's right. You're probably just getting your old armor repaired though, because it did get kind of banged up.
I ended up not getting new armor because I can't.
Yeah, but your old
increase
one
my
got
AC
its-
if their armor cheaper.
Yeah, but your old one got the crap
Right,
beat out
right.
of it, so you might have it repaired, is what I'm saying, for the sake of this scenario.
Well, it's been a few days. I would have just repaired it myself. Make
Yeah.
old lady. Zoom.
Probably. Never mind that, but you are here for some reason or another that the DM got flummoxed by because his notes were written down wrong. I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah. Regardless, my question is, how do you feel about the mages of Sea London right now? Weird. Also, they sent me here when I wanted to go to Blackwater, so I'm going to take one's head in a pike, and just that's a heads up. Because that was a deliberate dick move on someone's part.
Greetings, Varg.
Hi, Leah. Are you deaf now?
Well, you could have started off by saying hello. It's sort of a formality.
I know who you are. You know who I am. I'm pissed off at the mages. I need your opinion on a thing. And did you receive a head message?
Alia, you did not receive any message from Torax Kai.
No, I would have remembered that.
Well, some fella
I
named
sent a
Torax.
few.
Torax Kai contacted me. The fella from the center point of all the planes, one who likes staring at the planes for no particular reason. That
Side
weirdo.
note, did those glasses he made me wear survive my transformation?
No, those did not.
Awesome. He's going to be pissed at me.
Potentially.
Oh, well.
He offered a job, and I thought you all had the same offer, but
Well, can't say I've seen anything of that. I just got back into town recently myself. I heard that a tiara my mother once owned was here.
Still, I suppose if you want to go, we can. It's to Blackwater. He's telling us to go and meet with his grandmother.
Well, that sounds like a fun time.
Says the pay is good. If you want to come. If you don't, that's fine. Either way, I am going back to Sea London to insert my big clawed foot up some poor wizard's behind for daring to send me where I didn't want to go.
I'll have to check back with my advisors in Gemnevin and see if I have any pressing issues, but if not, I'd be happy to go.
Alrighty. Do you know where the others are?
I haven't seen anybody since after we split up.
Would you mind terribly teleporting me back to Sea London then?
I don't.
I was eating breakfast when this happened, so I don't have much in the way of stuff prepared beyond basic keep self alive.
I don't know any teleportation spells, Varg.
Anyone here do?
Probably.
Okay, point me.
I don't know everybody here.
The College of Dithrup has always been on the more practical side of wizardry, enchanting and such. Even if there was, there's no one who can spare the time today.
Really? I'm pretty sure Var could convince me is very convincing on the whole. Do you like your arms argument?
Yet there are no sorcerers in Dithrup.
Ah, that's what you mean. Okay, that would make more sense. That he understands to at least some level, because he does the same thing himself. It's a good thing he's not come across only sorcerers.
I suppose we could shadow walk you over there, but it's gonna have to wait till after lunch.
I'm fine with having lunch. What's for lunch?
I'm not sure yet. It's only like 10 in the morning.
When do you have lunch?
Around noonish, otherwise known as lunchtime.
No. Lunchtime is after tea time, which is after brunch time, which is usually around 1.
Are you a halfling now?
That's it. No. No. I just appreciate good food. And I went to a halfling restaurant once. I didn't want to leave. Ever. Well, fine. I'll wait till noon then, so you can shadow walk me there, and yeah.
Well, either way, I have to consult with my advisors to see if I can even do that. So get back
Why
to
do you
you in
need to
20
consult on
minutes or so.
anybody to decide what you do? Just say, I'm doing a thing. Have a nice day.
Because I have responsibilities, Varg.
So do I. If I have a responsibility to do something and something else comes up that I find more important, I do the important thing, and that's the situation.
Alia, it's a roundabout now. You receive a sending.
Yay! Oh, just hold up, Varg. I have a message coming in.
Oh, cool.
I say it says, and then I point my fist at Varg, and I start cranking my hand and crank up my middle finger. Not really. Just
That from the wizards? Wow. They have terrible service.
was that actually ascending?
Yes.
Bond with you guys are terrible. Varg will consume you all. Okay, I'll just go with my fucking headache.
Yes, that was the Mages College telling me you were coming. That's very nice of them.
I like blinked slowly. So if I had been an assassin attempting to kill you, you'd be dead on the floor, and they'd be telling you, hey, by the way, assassin's on the way.
No, if I were dead, the sending would have failed.
Alright. It would still have looked extremely stupid.
I should have thrown an emoticon into my reply.
Regardless, we have
well,
till
it-
noon.
Either way, Varg, I must. I must make contact with my advisors. I'll get back to you in 20 minutes or so.
Fine, fine. I'll be outside wrestling your guards.
What was my top advisor's name? They're such minor characters, I forgot all of them.
I am afraid I will have to look up his name as well here. Let's see here.
Sorry.
Oh, Varga's going to go outside, find the guards who are currently fighting Meslo, and tell them that that's not going to save their ass if someone decides to pick them up, and Alan has them come over to learn how to grapple people.
Emma's completely badass. Did you guys read what she did?
Yeah,
on the
she's
thing?
tote badass, I know.
Meanwhile, deep inside the library in the Sealand College, a Coriel is interrupted by a soft chime in the distance, followed by this message appearing in his vision.
I didn't expect Varg to look for me. Alright. Let's get a nose out of the book, whatever we're reading right now. Probably just be something from the library.
Elves Gone Wild, Volume 15.
15 is the worst of the bunch. Where is the college in relation to things like the Ministry of Adventurers? Or the library, I mean.
The library is at the back end of the same building. This newly formed ministry is in the offices that are arranged in the first couple floors at the south front end of the building.
Okay, respond to 25 words, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna hope they have items or wands or something.
I'm actually having trouble finding the notes I have on Fort Yemnavan. I'd have to go back to the video log to find it.
Oh my. I believe he was an elf. That's all I remember about him. He was in a thing for like 30 seconds one time. So
Mm-hmm.
We do not blame you because we give him a new name.
yeah, it's not really that important. We can just rename him. Anyway, I'm sending that guy a sending, asking him if there's any pressing business they need me for up there, because I've being
I had a
called
question. They're
somewhere
always
else
gonna have pressing business for you. There's always something pressing. Always. Even if it's stupid stuff.
1, 2, 3. It should be fine onwards. It's actually a very short message.
I have actually just figured out that the last time you were, when you were actually there in session, was actually 4 sessions before we started recording them.
Okay.
So I can't go back to the video log for it.
That's fine. We'll just rename him. I remember he was an elf. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had already been the steward to your lands while you came of age, and he was content to remain steward, as you saw to your duties elsewhere in the lands.
And back to reading the book.
It is only about 10 or 15 minutes later that you hear someone coming up on you down one of the stacks, and comes around the corner, approaches you, and hands you a letter, and then disappears back into the stacks.
Quick and efficient. I can live with that. What does the
My
letter
ass.
say?
The letter says that. Let's see here. It says that Varg came looking for yourself and Alia. The ministry determined that the best way to sort things out with him was to simply send him to his documented superior. So he has been sent to Alia, and then it contains the messages that were sent to her and received back from her. Somehow, even through the filter of being sent from her and being transcribed by someone else, you can still kind of taste the sarcasm coming off of her words.
Either bad timing or something went a little wrong.
Both is always an option.
And probably best to bet on that when Varg is involved.
Yep, that's our thing.
It mentions at the bottom that if you need any transportation services availed to you, you can find a transport agent in the East Wing in room 308.
Just a moment of debate, looking at the book, looking at the library around. Wonder if they'd missed one book.
Would you?
Well, I'm slightly obsessed, so probably.
There you go then. They're wizards. They'd miss a book.
Fair point. Alright, put the book back, off to room 308. Whatever that is.
Just a moment.
Oh, and of course I have to do this. Done. He is always flying.
Just composing a message from Alia's steward, and then I will get back to you. Okay. You find room 308 easily enough.
I'll knock on the door.
Someone calls, "Come in."
In we go. Take a look around at this place.
There's a number of thick tomes on some of the shelves behind a desk in the corner, but the majority of the room is taken up by a very large red circle drawn on the floor in looks like chalk under a layer of lacquer.
Just to
There's
focus.
the person who's at the desk there stands up. Yes, sir. Don't need too much more to be able to do this reliably.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Teleport by itself can be unreliable.
Where am I to be sending you today, my lord?
Holds out the letter to him.
Um, oh, yes, I saw him earlier. He's disagreeable, isn't he?
A fair amount, but it's useful.
I understand. It's why we formed that ministry of venturing adventurers. I'm never certain. There's too many new changes around here. Got to exploit the usefulness of them as best we can.
But hold a moment. He was looking for me, but he was here.
I'm afraid Dolby. I'm afraid I don't know why they didn't simply send him straight to you, sir.
Actually, I can imagine. He probably came in demanding many things, didn't he?
Anyways, let's see here. By my files, I sent him to the Thrupp earlier.
That will be my destination, then.
Very well. Are you ready to travel, sir?
This wizard is so fucking dead, he doesn't even know.
As ready as I can be.
He goes to the edge of the circle, shakes his arms out of his sleeve, and gestures, and you find yourself standing just outside the front gates of a small town. Population only about 4,000. There's currently farmers milling in and out of the gate with their wares for market.
I glance at them, but then fly straight up and look at the city from up there.
You can see that the highest point in the city is a keep to the north west, but there is also a low, wide building, only a couple stories in a big U shape with a yard in, that looks it's got a lot of it has a lot of chimneys, and not all of them emit the same color of smoke. And there's someone very large sparring in the courtyard.
Large is a good sign. Let's go that way.
You approach and recognize that Varg seems to be trying to show the local town guard how exactly to hold a chokehold, and well, his techniques don't really translate very well.
Screw you, I've improved grapple and improved on strike. They grapple perfectly. I still remember what hands are.
Yes, you remember what hands are, but you tend to use your claws for grip, not your fingers.
Yeah, just dig in with your nails a bit.
Well, first you grab him around the throat, then you get his head in your mouth.
Gonna
This
float.
part's usually hard depending on the size of the subject, but you can usually get a most of it in there.
Gonna float down. I think they're more intimidated than inspired, Varg.
There's a difference.
Fair amount.
Hmm. Which one's better?
Depends on what you want, I suppose.
If they learn something, then I've accomplished something. Besides, I need an excuse to go break something. How'd you get here?
The Wizards of Sealonin.
Cool. Which one sent you?
Did we get a description of the man who teleports?
Dressed in fairly plain robes, didn't mention his name. You'd recognize him if you saw him again. Short brown hair.
Short, average wizard in a room with a big red circle.
What?
Focus
room?
for teleporting. Oh, 308, I believe it was.
Neat. I'm gonna tear his arms off.
Well, that's just unpleasant.
He sent me here without me telling him to send me here. I don't like being snubbed. And I warned him. Didn't listen.
Well, if you warned him, I guess he doesn't really have any excuse, does he?
No, I don't want. Said very clearly, send me here or I tear your arms off. He sent me the other place. Gonna go tear his arms off. I'm a lizard man of my word. I might grow him back. Maybe. If he screams loud enough.
If you can teleport, he might just teleport away the moment he sees you.
Yeah, be smart of him. We'll see.
It is at this moment that Amesua trips Varg with her spear and tells him, "Now,
Okay, please roll a chance to trip me, because I'm not budging an inch, sir. Even flat-footed, you're not tripping Varg for all the tea in China.
granted, but you're distracted at the moment."
Yeah, for the sake of I'll allow it.
She turns away from you and says to the guards, "And that is what happens when you're distracted on duty.
At
Or
that
while
point,
sparring."
Varg grabs her tail, yanks her to the ground, and says, "And that's what happens when you try and mock an opponent who can still reach you."
Well, I'm glad I could help provide an example.
She takes this in stride and goes back to sparring with the guards, and has put away her spear and is trying to show them things practical to more the kinds of things they normally do, like deal with drunkards down at the docks.
So
Who have no
first you-
legs.
First you get close. First you get in close, and then you slap him with your tail.
Okay, maybe her techniques don't translate quite as well as Varg's do, but
Mine are aim for the shoulder blades and the genitals.
Do any of our techniques really translate? Because I usually just end up disintegrating things.
Varg's would actually be closest because he's the most physically able with just his hands. Obviously he's not going to tell him to go slash them to pieces with his claws, but some physical combat does translate okay. Like jab with your right arm towards the freaking trachea. That translates okay.
You throw your bow at them, and then when they instinctively catch it, it will shoot them. It will take control of their bodies and shoot them in the face.
Yeah, Varg's the most normal one here.
the guards begin to scatter for changing of the shifts. It's probably just past typical lunchtime.
All right, come on, lot. We still need to gather a couple others, and I need to teleport somewhere. But we all do. But
Why were you looking for us?
I got a sending from something Kai, some weird fellow who sits on this weird inner dimension between all planes and watches everyone like a creeper. And
I'm sorry, did you just say a dimension between all planes?
Yeah, it's like some sort of center point thing he set up.
Koryo's going to look very absorbed in his own thoughts for a while.
You'll
Fair
get
enough.
to see it. It's not as pretty as you think it is.
Isn't it fun how that's a completely normal thing to happen to us?
Yeah. I'm not even phased. Point is he sent me basically a... How to describe this? Job offer? Good pay, send us off. He wants to send me, he says go to Blackwater and talk to his grandma for pay and job. So that's what I'm going to go do, and I thought maybe all of you got the same message. Apparently not, only me, but I see no reason for not to bring you.
I dare say that if someone saw the group of us together, you would be the first one to come to mind.
Thank you.
No,
Strictly-
thanks for the sexy fish lady.
Strictly out of band, Varg's the only one of you guys that Torex has actually met in person who hasn't been who hasn't been subjected to a resurrection in the meantime.
Yeah, he probably assumes I died since since I was wearing glasses that show him everything I was doing when that happened.
Strictly possible.
Regardless, a lot of us can at least do the job and get some good pay. No reason not to. Something nice and relaxing that doesn't involve sitting around picking our teeth. But I still need to go gather, let's see, 1, 2, yep, we're missing, She Who Stalks, she's probably with the fucking druids, and Aishlin. I'll know where they are. Probably have Aaliyah send me to the college, rip someone's arms off, and then locate them. On principle.
On principle, of course.
Well, we'll just we'll just leave Aishlin side-banded until unless Scorchy comes back to us. Simply because I don't want to have to I don't want to have to puppeteer anything into into that bleh, into her character's mouth in the upcoming area.
That's fine. For the sake of, though, I still need to get She Who Stalks, so I am going to go in finally and ask her to shadow walk me, I guess, back to the key to London. Damn it, I forgot his name. Something London.
Sialanan.
There it is. I can see London. See London. Yes, back to see London, so I can ask the mages where She Who Stalks is and rip the arms off somebody.
And at that point, someone, a person who had been leaning against a nearby wall near the college, simply shrugs the hood off of her cloak and approaches Varg, shaking her head. I can't leave you to go anywhere, can I?
I look at her. Is that She Who Stalks?
Yes.
No, you can't. I was wondering why you all decided to leave me alone for any period of time, and I'm honestly surprised I didn't burn down the college.
Oh, you just get up from the mansion without telling me or Jeg. I barely got out the door before the damn place sealed itself off again behind me. And then you just disappear back away to who knows where, and I had no idea where you disappeared to until I got a message from the college.
I'm used to Nibbling just kind of riding on my shoulder whenever I go and do things without talking to him. Can you do that? Do I have to talk to you about every single stupid thing that comes across my head?
This is just a touching reunion.
She looks insulted at the suggestion of riding on you.
What? You're small.
Insulted or intrigued?
That would be the other Alia.
Well, if you're not gonna ride on my shoulder, I guess I'll tell you when things happen, I guess. Yeah, message from a guy. We can go do a job for a very hefty sum. After I teleport myself back to wait. Damn, everyone's here. I can't go teleport myself. Someone write it down that I need to tear the arms off of the guy in 304 because I'll forget and I don't want that
308.
best. 30. See? 308. I forget. I don't want to get in
I
the way.
I write it down into Ziriac, fold it up, and shove it in his pocket without showing it to him. Have fun with that later.
Roger that.
So, everybody ready to go on a little shadow hike?
Suppose.
Everybody get your cold weather gear on. It gets pretty chilly in the plane of shadow.
I pick up a Nuvera and drape her over my shoulders. I don't have warm gear.
Well, then prepare endure elements or something.
I have a sweater, I just never wear it.
Let's see here. Dothrop 2. Yeah, it's only a 5-hour hike by shadow.
On that case. Endure elements. I don't like being cold.
Just checking right now if I have it naturally or not.
Oh, I have continuous endure elements, so suck it, everybody. Now in order to fulfill my dream of playing the fountain, I just need an item that makes me ageless.
Good luck with that one.
It's easy. Just reincarnate yourself as an elf.
Well, look at me.
But I need to fly to a supernovaing star in a glass sphere with a tree in it. That movie's awesome.
I don't have endure elements, so I'm basically just ready to go.
Alrighty. Let's see here. You can make out the generalities of the terrain you're passing over there, that's for certain.
Once the ocean ends, we can get out.
And, alright. You cross the Circle C without too much trouble. Between the lot of you, you know how to tell direction. You cross the Circle C, and when you emerge from the Shadow Walk, you find yourself in the shipyard district of Blackwater. It's a very big trade town. In fact, most of the vessels that come from across the seas from elsewhere from the other major continents of Galarian end up usually dock, if they're approaching on this side of the continent, they usually dock here before moving on to Freeport or the other towns of the Circle C. Or at least the ones that don't dock at Hensteer. So there's a lot of traffic that comes through here. The shipyards cover a good 3 miles of the coast. The city, fortunately, is not quite so large. It is well built up, though, and there's a very large dwarven community living in this city, even though it's mostly humans.
On the plus side, that'll mean diamonds are easy to find.
So, do you know where this Kai person's grandmother is?
No idea. Start asking.
Sure. Why don't I just leave it to me? I'll go try to find this person.
All right. Hey, Coriel, you want to go get drunk?
Oh, I rolled a 1 on that. Screw you, diplomacy. At least those don't auto-fail.
I can watch you get drunk, Varg.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go to the best dwarven tavern in this place and see if I can outdrink every dwarf in it.
So Alia surveys the streets and asks around about the name of Torex Kai, or Kai in general. And, well, it goes kind of odd. Initially, whenever she asks about the name, when she approaches a guildsman, he respectfully bows his head and excuses himself, walks away. When she asks about the name with merchants on the street, they give a superstitious gesture as if to ward off evil, and then try and change the subject. And when she asks just random passerby, they either spit on the floor and walk past her, or they quaver in their boots. And finally, she finds one who quavers but is still willing to talk, and mentions that the Kais keep their estate the mansion is it's in an orchard just outside the southeast gate of the city. I I dare not go there myself. No one goes there. They send their own people to pick up goods from the town.
Bunch of superstitious weenies.
Oh, well, at least it was easy to find.
It is, however, just after sunset at this point.
Do you guys want to find an inn or just use a secure shelter somewhere?
Oh, considering you've already found an inn, is outdrink every dwarf in the entire town. Yeah, let's do this inn.
Let's cast secure shelter in the inn and piss everybody off.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm all for pissing off a bunch of dwarves that just outdrank. They're unconscious. Who cares?
So yes, Varg is raving drunk in some dwarven tavern.
Why don't I have a beard? I grew one once and then it fell off. Or was that a rat I ate?
That wasn't a beard, Varg. I just put a soap beard on your face while you were in the bath.
You do not bath me, woman, and so on.
It's gonna float in the corner, being amused.
I'm surrounded by unconscious dwarves who dared to try and outdrink me.
Well, you better stay visible while you be bemused, because in a dwarven tavern, hatchets are thrown as often as mugs.
Oh yeah, staying visible.
Yes,
I have won the respect of every dwarf in the entire town by outdrinking everyone. Yay for
No,
Varg.
you've won the respect of every drunk dwarf in this room.
That's a lot of respect, sir.
You will need a few weeks of cavorting in order to earn respect in the town.
Give me enough time, I'll work my way through it.
Anyways, give Varg another hour of this, and he'll pass out himself, and won't need any better bed than wherever he fell over until morning. Don't know about the rest of you.
Oh, he'll go to bed once his friend shows up. He's already
I only
outdrank
need to
everyone.
sleep for 2 hours now, so I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the time.
I don't sleep.
Well, Varg does, so
Oh,
he's
good,
just
we
going
can
to
hang
curl
out
up
and
somewhere
play some
comfortable.
cards.
So, she who stalks gets herself a room at a inn slightly further away.
From the stench of Varg sleeping wherever it is he ends up sleeping. Probably on his bedroll in the middle of the floor, surrounded by drunk dwarves. Unconscious drunk dwarves.
And Alia and Akoriel probably stay up all night playing Crokinole.
Fair assumption. Though he would be trancing at some point.
Yeah, on the hilarious note, I no longer need to eat, drink, sleep, or breathe.
Yep, perfectly human.
Seriously, Varg is more normal than like anyone else in this goddamn party. So maybe she who talks now.
Mm-hmm.
And no one could detect my alignment.
Alien.
So morning comes and pierces through a crack in the woodwork and falls directly on Varg's sleeping face.
Because, that's how that works. Varg kisses himself awake, looks around, see how many unconscious dwarves remain.
Did you say pisses himself awake?
Hisses, hiss.
Just checking.
Snake, hiss.
Yeah.
Too bad, that would have been better.
It would have been hilarious.
Not again.
You're wasting good liquor. That shit needs to stay in your body and stew. So, I'm assuming the floor is carpeted with unconscious dwarves.
Yes, quite soft.
I wonder what they'll remember from that night.
I'll guess
I do not want to meet this place's flooring guy.
I'm just gonna do some quick changes here. I forgot to update BAP and such.
Sure.
Well, I leave my tab for these idiots to pick up, and I'm prepared to go with my friends to wherever it is we're going. I'm quite certain part of the rules of the drinking contest was loser pays tab. They lost, I won, they pay tab.
Proceed.
Alright, well, I'm assuming, like, Aaliyah and Icoriel are fairly easy to find because they're awake and just kind of hanging out, so I asked them where we're going.
Well, Leah's the one who found out.
So I wait on her.
Let's get going.
A
Clark
cold
snorts
stare.
Roy points into Icoriel and goes, "Ha! Now you gotta live with it." I'm free.
Unless
Stalks
he's-
is outside in the street, idly gnawing on some cooked fish when you guys come out.
Where'd you get that? I'm hungry.
Jerks her thumb at a vendor at the nearest intersection.
Haul myself over there. Demand fish.
Fresh fish, cooked fish, boiled fish, fried fish.
Tried.
Fried fish, sir.
Guy.
That'll be off a silver crown.
What's that translate into in Marg's head?
That's 5 copper bits, sir.
Per.
Per stick. Say,
I give him
fried
5
fish on a
gold.
stick. Oh, I don't have change for that, sir.
I want all you got. That's fried fish.
All right, hold a moment. He turns back to his cart, opens a bin, grabs a handful, and passes you about 5 or 6 halibut, all speared through and fried very incautiously.
Yay. You can keep the change. Start munching.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, sir.
Aye. Chomp, 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 chomp.
Fresh fish, cooked fish, boiled fish, fried's all out.
Yes, it is.
Are you happy now, Varg?
Could use more fish.
We could use more water with that hangover.
Mm.
So there's
Take a pull from my water skin.
there's only the 2 landbound gates out of the city, the north and the southeast.
Well, yeah. Which direction was this manor?
Crunch, crunch. Aye. Crunch, crunch.
Southeast, I believe.
Alright, southeast it is. Charge. And start stomping off southeast till munching on what's left of the fish.
It's only a little over an hour's walk to get both out of the city and into the out to where there is a there's no fence around the whole orchard, but you come to a road that heads into the orchard that is flanked by a short stone fence, and above it, a big arch, there is ornate ironworking that reads out in two separate halves. On the left half, it says Kai, written out in the common alphabet, and on the right half, it's the phonetic breakdown of Kai in Osiriani.
Ooh, somebody else speaks of Siriani.
Neat. I head inside, or past the gate anyway.
Okay. You walk out the road, and it's a pretty big orchard plantation.
It's a
It,
grow.
well, at the moment, not much is in bloom. It's only mid-February, but you do recognize that this place definitely does grow, among other things, oranges and a couple different breeds of apple.
Hmm.
The grounds are big enough, though, that's just all the breeds you can see from this road.
Yeah, really expensive orchard. Weird.
Varg, could you toss me a perception? Or anyone else, actually, because I'm just pretty sure that Varg's modifier is better than what anyone else can roll.
Oh, Nat 1, so... But even then, I beat a Misua, so yay for me.
Yeah, Messi is just as good.
No, it's not. It's, she has a plus 30. So technically, I am slightly better than a Misua, because I rolled a 1 and still beat her. I'm proud of that. But yes,
Corey will
everyone
also
here does
pump
actually
range
have a
into it.
fairly high perception check now. Varg is not entirely, like, alone in perception looking at shit. He's still the best, but not, like, so good that there's no point in everyone else rolling.
Yeah, I remember. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm thinking.
No, there was a
I'm
point where
thinking
there
Alia's
was...
sense motive, which used to be a grand total of 4, I believe.
Yeah. It used to be that no one in this party had a perception worth a damn except Var, but that's changed.
Yep. All right. Anyways, yeah, you guys looking about, you see workers carrying baskets back and forth in the distance and pruning branches and other winter maintenance on the trees. But after watching for a couple minutes as you walk down the road, you notice the figures doing the work, they're not just in the shadows of the trees, but they're slightly transparent, and every once in a while they flicker briefly out of sight.
Ooh.
Either
Cool.
ghosts or illusions.
You come up to the mansion itself, and it's fairly large. It's a 4-story mansion built in a very traditional and rectangular style. It's very well maintained, the grounds around well cleared and manicured. Most of the upper story windows have heavy blinds drawn, but you can see dozens of figures actively going about their business in the lower floors.
Hmm.
And this type of design, it's one that went out of style very soon after the first human colonization of Hlosterin. Alia would easily know. In fact, you can kind of see that it was probably built by someone from the same era as those who designed the Aurelian estate mansion.
Holy shit.
That's very old.
Well, that
It's
said-
not really surprising. We already knew Thorax was really, really old.
There's no one moving about outside the mansion, but it, as a mansion, has a big circle in the path for carts to go around. There's a fork of the path that leads behind the mansion, probably to some kind of stable, and there is a great, obvious, inviting front entrance.
Well, let's go knock on the big, great, obvious, inviting front entrance.
I'm
I'm
okay
gonna
with that.
vote that Varg knocks on that since he's the only one who was directly invited.
That is actually a decent point. I will knock. For the sake of what if magic shoots us in the face?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. There is okay. So you knock, and after a couple seconds, the door opens, and there's a tallish human man in his mid-20s, who is completely shaven of all hair, even his eyebrows. He's wearing a well-cut black suit top, white gloves, and a well-used apron that falls all the way to the top of his shoes.
New humans got fleas.
Hello, can I help you?
Yes. Looking for the grandmother that is here. Grandmother of goddamn, I keep forgetting his name. It's way up here. Hold on.
I keep wanting to call him
Theorex.
Thorax
Theorex
Kid.
Kai. Yeah, Theorex Kai. I'm looking for his grandmother. He sent me here. Apparently, there's a job of some kind she's offering. I wouldn't know.
Ah, yes, you are here about the basement. Excellent. I shall let the Lady Kai know that you are here. Please, come in. I am Reginald, her lady's manservant.
Varg, if you got us into a job where we're clearing out rats in the basement, I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah,
I
I'm leaving
didn't-
if that's the case.
Turns out, okay, fine, you all can leave, and when she pays me, when she pays me half a kingdom's worth of ransom, and I just get to keep it all, you guys can go ahead and leave.
He
I don't
opens
have
the
much use for material wealth, Varg.
I do.
he opens the door wider and gestures you in.
I head inside. Manservant, huh?
Float along behind him.
After closing the door behind you, he says, "Please follow me. I believe she is already ready to accept you in the study."
Oh, well.
He leads the way in, and after closing the door, he leads you in, and as he walks past you, you discover that he is not wearing anything under that apron, not even socks.
A manservant in that way as well. Okay.
Well, great. Now that's in my head.
He leads you into the study, which is quite an opulent library, and after introducing Varg by name, he excuses himself and leaves via another door. You see, although there's no one immediately evident, this library does seem to cover all 4 stories of this building, and after a moment, slowly floating down from an upper level, you see a very, very old woman sitting in a rocking chair that comes down and settles, floating a few inches off the floor. It creaks therapeutically as she leans forward and back, and if you were to assume no magical interference and no half-elven ancestry, you'd be willing to bet that she has just gone past her 120th birthday. The creases in her face pardon me. The creases in her face run all the way down to her neckline, and she gently pats a patch on her blanket that is worn thin.
Impressive library.
God, you're old.
Subtle, Varg.
Are you?
Oh, like I say it.
My grandson told me you would be here. I understand you're here to deal with the basement for me.
Assuming the pay is good. Aye.
Oh, don't you worry about that, my dear. Well, you see, the problem is that I'm getting up there these days and would like to leave the mansion to my great-grandchildren.
Alright.
The only problem is that it isn't safe for them in its current condition.
Looks pretty solid. It's not gonna fall, is it?
Oh, no, it will stay upright quite some time, but you see, my late husband, that she pauses, lifts the blanket off of one side of her chair and then puts the blanket back. My late husband, you see, was a bit of an eccentric, and, well, he left some experiments in the basement when he passed, and, well, my grandson Torex, he never quite could get rid of them properly. We were hoping you might be willing to clear out some of the older remnants.
We talking undead, demons, golems.
Oh, no, nothing that moves about on its own. Just my grandchildren were just born, you see, and we don't want them to get into any trouble. You know, children, they can't be trusted to not open locked doors. So we were hoping you could just there's 4 rooms downstairs that just need to be cleaned out.
Statues that turn you to stone.
Oh, well, not that
Dark
I know
owl turns
of.
to an evil god.
Not that I've seen.
What is
Dust
down
bunnies.
there? Demonic
Well,
dust bunnies?
I think the basement keeps itself clean of that sort of thing.
Acid monsters?
Well, she
I'm
said nothing that moves around, so.
I'm afraid I
Acid
haven't been
monsters.
down there in a few decades, my dear. So
Oh, great.
by now there may be something of that sort. If you know, I'm sure he meant no harm, but he was not very well in his later days.
Oh, wonderful.
But if your grandson couldn't handle it, now I'm curious.
Oh, he just never had time to get around to it. You know how these young, spirited wizards are. They want to get out there and prove their ways to the world. And now he's been stuck at that research outpost in the plains for who knows how long. He must talk to his superiors about getting a vacation sometime. But
He has superiors.
Yes, I'm familiar with how selfish young wizards can be.
Cough.
That is
anyways,
Blink.
I was actually referring to my ex, but okay.
so I don't have much to give you, but I have a few nice trinkets left over from my my late husband's. She again lifts her blanket and knocks on the wood of her rocking chair. I'm sure he left a few trinkets around that you'd be welcome to.
Hmm. I suppose that's acceptable.
Let's
Strange
take a look. It
question.
can't do us any harm.
Strange question. How old are you?
That's
Oh,
rude, Varg.
That's very rude.
dear,
No, it's
you should
not.
you should know never to ask a woman her age.
Orcs take pride in their age. The older you are and the longer you live, the stronger you were or are. Just be
I-
proud of how old you managed to last.
I'm sorry, dear. I don't follow why orcs would be important to you.
He takes a moment. They just are. And lizard folk are probably the same way. Probably.
He
Maybe.
just finds them delicious, I'm sure.
Well, it depends on the orc.
In any case, we should probably take a bath.
Oh, all right. I'll get Reginald to unlock the basement for you. She reaches out and rings a bell nearby, and Reginald appears. And yes, milady. Would you see these nice stairs to the basement? They're going to have a look around for us. And as he turns to lead you guys away, she, much faster than you expected for someone as shaky and old as she reaches out and pinches him on the backside.
I'm very pointedly not looking at that.
He makes a point of not making no outward reaction and leads you back into the hall and down a side hallway towards a door that It was described as locked, but to say that it has been barred in 4 places is more accurate.
Heh. I'll
Quick
open it.
examination. Is there anything magical in this door?
There is nothing magical on this door.
Okay.
So I didn't
However, you
magically have to
can-
seal it.
As soon as the door is opened, you definitely see some very faint aura in the dust that rises up from the ground.
Always a good sign.
I see no problem with this. Let us march blindly into this basement.
Reginald says that I will leave the door unlocked for 2 days should be sufficient.
I think we've got a vital question.
Oh, watch it just be a big pile of crap we have to move somewhere.
How large is this basement?
Yeah, let's see here. I haven't looked at the plans in quite a while. I'd say about. Give me just a second here. Oh, it used to be a wine cellar with a couple offshoot rooms. It shouldn't yield more than about 6,000 square feet.
Alright then.
Hey, manservant.
Hmm?
How old is she?
You do not ask the Lady Guy such questions,
So I'm asking you.
and you do not understand. You do not ask the Lady Kai such questions, even when you're in my position.
I don't like this. She's far older than she thinks she is. If anyone smells undead, make a noise. Come on.
Sorry, I forgot to prepare my smell undead spell.
Well, Bard goes by smell more often. He does sight. He'll smell stuff long before he sees it.
Back in just a moment.
Not to say his eyesight's bad. It's just, well, his scent is stronger.
Although I suppose that's how you can say you're detecting undead with the detect undead spell.
Yeah, he could smell them. That'd be cool.
How far out can Varg smell things?
Theoretically, as far away as the wind blows. Like, are they downwind, upwind? How bad do they smell? What do they smell like? Blah, blah, blah,
Mechanically,
blah, blah.
there's no rules for range of scent or anything, but it's accuracy of scent that matters, and that's usually driven by a survival check.
Right.
Also, mechanically, that's a perception check. So he can smell things out to the range perception but let you see them.
So Reginald also mentions that you don't need to do it all in one burst. Just if we don't hear from you for a couple days, we'll be locking the door again.
We will likely return within the day, depending on what's down there, but we'll see.
Excellent. I shall make sure that a meal is ready for you if you do come out.
Excellent. I head down.
Varg disappears down the staircase.
Following him down.
She who stalks shrugs and carries forth.
You coming, Aaliyah?
I'm coming.
And she stops standing there awkwardly beside Reginald and disappears down the stairs. You guys do hear the door closed behind you, but you don't hear any bolts slamming home. And
Neat. How dark is it?
just plucking you off loot and inventory now. Varg, first of all, you are going to have to demote yourself to medium for this.
Uh,
And let me know when everyone's loaded.
I'm in.
Loading.
Loading, loading, loading. Loaded.
I bet the whole place is just filled with Karibos that are multiplying.
That'll be slightly disturbing.
Even more disturbing than the tiles made out of bones?
Actually, they're simple stone flags that have been carved to look like bones.
Seems like Varg style decor.
Yeah, I totally do this. Why do I have to be medium for this exactly?
Because the ceiling is too low.
How high up is the ceiling? Like only like a couple feet.
It is a mere 7-foot ceiling across most of this basement.
Fair enough. I'm
Oh,
tempted
I
to just
can't
say
fly
compression, so my lower half and like I squeeze like a big squishy toy, but I don't want to upset you, so
You're going to find that more difficult to actually cope with than you think.
says you, magic.
I don't think we need to see a Varg cube, thanks.
No, you don't. Alright, well, to adventure. What's this thing, sorry?
Ceiling's too low for me to fly, too. Sort of bugs me.
Still gonna have my feet off the ground, even if it's only by an inch.
Mm-hmm.
Common fortitude.
Yes, there is a plaque there. It's wooden and it hangs from a nail. It certainly wasn't part of the original decor, but the dust on it tells you no one's tended in ages. It reads in a fairly old dialect of common fortitude. Other signs are dotted around this place in similar fashion.
Suppose the question is, do we pick one or do we explore?
Is it just between the two?
Well, we could go looking at how many of these rooms there are.
Suppose. Yeah, let's head north and swing our way around, shall we?
Dwindling resource chamber. That sounds fun.
Found relics. That looks promising. I found the
So-
private chambers and something written in Osani, or something similar to Osani.
Oh, I speak ancient Osiriani. What's this one
Uh,
say?
It's over here.
It is plain Assyriani, and it reads wine cellar. These two plaques are part of the original decor. They're stone plaques that are carved right into the wall, not hung there later.
Cool.
Well, which one first?
This room in the center is accessible from all sides. What's in there?
Yeah, let's start in the center.
Fair enough.
1 second. You guys take a couple steps into that hallway and find that there's some gentle force pushing you back.
Varg pushes back.
You push, and it simply becomes more and more unyielding.
I become more and more unyielding. Ah,
Right.
it's happening. I know it's
Text
happening.
message.
Varg's not that dumb.
Back at the front where that sign was hung, Alia notices that this plaque is hung above a black glass plate embedded in the wall. It's about a foot square, and there's a small painting of a hand in the bottom corner of it.
I'll press my hand to it and see what happens. This is the part where I get slapped.
The plate, you feel it feels like it hums slightly under your touch, and then there is the sound of a bell tolling somewhere in this basement.
That sounds fun.
Well, if there is anything in here, it definitely knows someone else is here.
I'm going to attempt to walk in now.
You walk in without any resistance. So the four ways into this room are all fairly low and narrow. By the time they reach the center, you actually have to crouch slightly to get inside. The torches in the halls around cast their light only across the floor, and little can be seen above chest height here. In this small subchamber, there's four large metal suits of armor standing on pedestals. Two black as obsidian, and two marble white, and they all wield a ceremonial two-handed mace of the same color. One of the white statues actually has a spray of old dried blood on it and a small puddle of equally dry blood on the pedestal. The other statues are clean.
I'm going to guess trying to take things from the statues is a bad plan.
Likely.
Yeah, on that mark.
Quick detect magic here.
You cannot see
Just 1
beyond.
second.
Coriel, you try to detect magic, and you feel that force that's keeping you from advancing into here is it like a solid stone wall to your vision looking for magic auras.
So it's still here on this side, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, coming around then. I'll try again, looking in from this side, just to see if there's a wall there or not.
You look, and although there is still a opaque wall of magical aura in this passage, you can see that there's a finely cut hole in it that looks a lot like Alia's outline.
Well, looks like Alia is the only person who can enter that right now. At least is what I'd assume. Which likely means nobody should press on that plate until she's out.
Yep. How about we head to the relics chamber because I want stuff.
I can agree with that plan.
I'll give Brad a second to come back. And yes, this chamber is dotted with other suits of armor that are also standing on pedestals, though some of the pedestals are empty.
Good for them. Still want to go in this particular room.
Yep, as soon as Brad's back.
Okie doke.
While we're here, I'm gonna take a look at the statues to detect magic.
There doesn't seem to be anything magical about these statues around the room.
The fact that someone missing without there being evidence of destroyed statues and such, or suits of armor.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
No worry.
Okay, what
found
I
out-
miss?
We found out that you did not get rid of the wall. You just made a Alia-shaped hole in it.
Sorry, I did what now?
You made a
So-
hole.
Coriel looked around and saw that to his detect magic vision, there seemed to be impassable, opaque walls around this subchamber here. But when he came around to this side, he could see that the wall's still there, but there's an Alia-shaped hole in it.
Cool, I'm a cartoon character.
Nice. But yeah, we're going
Um,
to the northeast chamber. Curious.
Okay, I'm going to crawl out of here.
Okay. You leave, and you hear a small chime sound as soon as you're fully out of that passageway.
Some creepy statues in there.
Mm. Well, we're gonna go see if we can pick up some loot. Is the door locked?
The door is not locked, and yields softly under your touch.
Okie dokie.
This suit of armor looks suspicious.
Yeah, it's missing its brother. Pretty suspicious.
Maybe we'll find
Oh
some
yeah, that's not a
relics.
trap at all. No, there's no way that's a trap.
So this room's walls are painted to look like bookshelves. And at the far end on the floor is a great heap of books in all shapes, sizes, and bindings. Many of them look fire damaged, but there's probably dozens in good or recoverable condition in that pile.
Who here reads the most languages?
Me?
Okay. Check the paintings on the walls. They might have clues, because there's no reason to paint that unless you're trying to put a clue about, what the fuck's going on.
Sure, I'll start checking out the titles of the books painted onto the walls.
And don't go too far in, because if this room is not trapped, I will eat my tail.
Yeah, I'm gonna look past you two and do another detect magic.
Here, I'll move out of the way. I'm not gonna be able to accomplish much. Sips it off my face.
There's like little sparkles of magical aura in the air, but there doesn't seem to be anything magical about this room beyond the surface of things.
Oh, sorry. So I said I'm going to read books. If none of the book titles specifically jump out at me, I'm also going to do a perception for traps.
You start reading the spines of books on the painted shelves, and all of the titles are just squiggle that you draw to imply there's text there, but there isn't actually any.
Awesome. So perception for traps then.
You see nothing that looks like a trap trigger, no little cracks or anything in the walls that would be a passage that a sword blade or an arrow would come flying out.
I have good saves. I'll just risk it. I'm gonna go take a look at some of the books.
It is a great unsorted heap of books, and even some scrolls and some uncovered, just bound with rope, not rope, string manuscripts.
She wanted us to clear the place out. Let's see what's worth keeping. I'll start digging through the books. You guys can do whatever you're doing.
All right.
I'll be searching through the books as well.
All
I just
right.
watch and wait for the books to start
Whoops.
eating them or something.
Alia, you dig about and find a yellow cloth-bound book.
You take 5 negative levels and your arms fall off.
She can borrow Varg's.
It appears to be a field guide to identifying different kinds of rocks that would be present in a mountain.
Ooh,
So,
that's interesting.
A basic surveyor's manual.
Into my haversack sack that goes. That's interesting.
Coriel, you dig about and find a gray sandalwood-bound book.
Interesting. Opening it.
It appears to be an illustrated manual of some kind of there we go of fashioning instruments, musical instruments.
Well, Alia, I believe this might be more useful to you than me.
That does sound like my jam.
Alia, where are you putting the books?
I should have room in my haversack for him. I'm barely
Okay.
using the thing.
All right. You open it to put the gray sandalwood bound book inside, and you notice that you can't see the yellow cloth book that you had just had.
Is it back in the pile?
You look and you don't see it on the surface anywhere.
Hang on to that book. I'm going to go looking through the pile again.
Is any of the other stuff in my backpack missing?
No, everything else looks like it's there.
Okay, good. In that case, I'm going to pull out my fancy new violin and start playing while he searches through the books.
Okay, where are you putting the gray sandalwood book?
I'm just going to put that down on the floor beside me for right now
I'm gonna watch
Okay.
it.
until we figure out what the hell.
I'm staring right at that gray sandalwood book when she puts it down. I'm not moving my eyes anywhere else. I'm looking right at it.
Alrighty.
I mean, I'm over here, but I'm still watching it.
To the sound of a jaunty tune, Icorial, you dig about and at random find a blue leather-bound book. It is a guide to. It is a basic. It's like a Cliff's Notes of dwarven history in the White Wastes. So no real details, just sort of pages and pages of calendars of events and things like that, with no supporting details.
Well, if I ever wanted to know about dwarves...
It's the kind of book you'd use to figure out, I know what war I'm looking for, I just want to know when it was.
Right. So I have an idea. I'm going to go put this just like down next to the wall and purposely look away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Did his book vanish or explode?
Oh, and we're back.
Yes. Okay, I heard you say you put the book down on the floor and purposefully look away from it.
Yes.
You do so?
After a few seconds, I'll turn back around and see if it's still there.
There is no book on the floor.
Lovely.
Shouldn't getting rid of all of these books be pretty simple then?
Yes, except the pile was here without anyone looking at it.
Well, we just take each book one by one and start doing that till they're gone.
Although it might just put them back in the pile.
Yeah, true enough.
Can I perform a thorough examination looking for blue leather-bound books in that pile?
I'm still staring at that gray one on the floor, personally.
Yep, and it
I
is
fucking
still on
dare
the
to
floor.
move.
Coriel, you begin digging through, looking specifically for blue books, and then sorting out those that are leather, and you toss books left and right, and eventually you find a blue leather-bound book that appears to be a series of calendars and dates of events of dwarven history in the White Wastes.
I forget if I have a quill or anything with me, because it might just be a copy of the book.
Maybe we should burn them.
I think he just caused Icorial to have a heart attack.
See, none of them are useful. I wouldn't mind too much, although there might be something on magic in there. I'd really need to look first.
Well, we can't take them with us anyway. We can't really spend all of our time studying them. They're gonna lock us in here.
Varg is actually going to take a second. He's going to stop looking at the book, because clearly it doesn't interest him, and check out this pedestal.
Okay. The pedestal is carved from a single block of granite and sits on the floor.
I stand on it.
You feel imperious and bonk your head.
Ow.
Right, I'm gonna make it just like a small little black mark on the front of this book with prestidigitation,
Okay.
and then do the same thing. Throw it in the corner, look away from it.
Alrighty.
And then go looking through the pile for it again.
You start digging through the pile. It takes you about 9 or 10 minutes to. You finally find a blue leather-bound book with a black X across the cover.
So the books do just return to the pile. Okay.
Detect magic.
I did it earlier, there's nothing but little sparks in the air.
Mm-hmm. You study those. You study the aura more closely, and determine that it is some kind of teleportation effect.
Oh, that's fun. Does anybody know how to cast Dimensional Anchor?
Yes. I'm pretty sure Dimensional Anchor only affects one target, though.
I thought it was a spread, no?
That's a different one, I believe.
That's dimensional lock.
Yes.
Well, this room has ceased to interest me, as it's full of books, and Varg can only barely read. So, dwindling resource chamber. That looks fun. Is that open?
The door swings open to your touch. Oh, so earlier you glance down at the floor, looking through the pile, and notice that gray book you put down on the floor beside you is gone.
Grr.
Well, you could easily find it again if you wanted to, but
We need to find a way to stop books from returning to the pile.
yes.
I'm going to find one that doesn't seem interesting to either me or Aquarial, and set it on fire with my flint and steel and see if it returns to the pile.
I'm gonna go figure out what the hell's in this room.
How
I'm
about
going to
for
back away from the rest of the books before I start setting things on fire.
Probably a good idea.
sure?
Fire is always always my first option.
All right, so you grab a book at random. It is the first one you find is actually already a little scorched, but it is metal bound and locked.
Well, we'll find that one again later.
Here, just give it to me. I'm gonna try and open that.
Sure thing.
Now, guy, what do I have that can open the lock? Actually, first, is the lock damaged at all?
The lock appears intact, but the exterior of the book has been burnt, so it's no longer readable.
Should probably find another book to set on fire while I figure out what to do with this.
Yeah, we'll find a useless one.
You find a rotten leather-bound book. It appears to be this one's probably useless to you. It is a treatise on how to identify particular phylums of bee.
I like bees. For some reason, this book appeals to me. Either way, don't think it's really too useful, so I'm going to back away from the pile of books, put it down on the ground in front of me, carefully set it on fire, and watch it burn.
Okay. You carefully set fire to it and stand back. The cover of the book burns for several seconds, and then the fire just sort of plops onto the floor and burns away some scraps of leather that fell to the floor with it. That wasn't nearly long enough for a volume as thick as it was to burn completely.
Oh, they just go back to the pile if you burn them. Judging by the burn marks on some of them, I think somebody else tried that already.
Would seem so. Do you have any way to open locks? I'm wondering why this book would be locked, and I can't find any magical way of doing it.
Oh, Varga's
Sure,
gonna stomp
just a
around this
second.
room and look at everything now.
Well, I don't want to give the description to that puzzle over and over, so
Fine, I'll just wait.
okay, thank you. Alia, you get out your picks and manage to pry that lock open after a few minutes, although you doubt you'll be able to lock it again later.
Sorry, broke the lock.
Not a problem with me.
You
So what's in the book?
You open the book and find that it is this is a spell book. And it seems to contain, let's see here.
Too bad there's no way for us to keep it.
It seems to have about 6 or 7 spells that you can recognize at a glance are all from the necromancy school.
Interesting. Could go through it and see if any of them are on my spell list, and therefore could add them.
You know, I'm going to look for other similar books. There might be a book. There might be a book that has that contains the spell that was cast on all the books.
Alright, so I believe I have read magic prepared. I do. Let's get read magic going and see what these spells are. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You flip through the book and find... No, that's the wrong page. Oh, fine, of course that page is useless to me. 1 second, I've got a spreadsheet of... let's see here. Well, there we go. All right, inside this book, as you thumb through it, there is...
Okay. Quick check to see if any of those are on my spell list. Interesting, but none of them are directly useful to me. In any case, the books are not as useful as I'd like. If we could only take one at a time, it will vanish if we look away. So we should probably just find a way to be rid of them. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we need to find a way to get rid of them. I have one idea.
You guys aren't making any progress in there, are you?
Well, I of course have some very destructive stuff I could use.
Oh, for God's sake. I look at the paintings along the wall. They are paintings of books, yes?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Do any of the covers and names match the ones that they're shuffling through?
There are
the
no
books
names,
on the
they're
wall
just
don't have
squiggles.
names.
Yeah, they're just like are they just really bad scribbles, or
Okay, wait. I'm gonna
I
pick
take
up
a tape one from the wall, just like it was a book. Just
It's a painting.
You
I know.
blunt your claws.
poop. Well, there is a purpose behind the painting. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna pick up one of the books at random. Just roll that up.
You find an old, rotten, velvet-covered book.
I'm going to see if I can find one that looks like it on the wall.
You cast about. Let's see here. You spend 10 or 15 minutes just going along the painted shelves, and you don't find anything that looks particularly like this book.
Are there parts of the wall that don't have books painted on them?
There's a few gaps where, where a couple books are leaning against each other, painted on the wall, but no empty, like, upright spots anywhere.
Well, stupid, but I'm going to try to shove this book into one of the empty spots.
It goes clunk. You fail to push the book into the wall.
Alright, any objections
Maybe
to
if Varg pushes really hard, he'll squish it.
I wouldn't be surprised, but that's probably not going to work very well.
Yeah, I say we move on past this room because I have nothing.
Well, I was about to suggest we use a much greater amount of fire directly on the big pile of books.
Well, then you don't have a big
Yeah.
pile of books. You have a big pile of fire.
Yeah, but then we can just sweep it.
Okay.
Sure. I'll try a fireball on it. Get back.
Oop, dokie. I was going to cast Firefall, but alright.
I'd get further back. Yes, inside the wall should do.
You stand well clear and hurl a fireball into the room. The pile of books scatters in all directions, and the individual pages flutter through the air, burning. But over the course of the next few seconds, as the room fills with smoke, you notice that a bunch of the books just sort of seem to pop out at once they're set on fire, and Well, it takes a few minutes before you can waft enough air back in here to get rid of all the smoke, but you find that the books are still in more or less a pile at the back of the room. It's just a slightly more spread out pile now, and still mostly intact, although more of them are now clearly burnt than they used to be.
Well, either way, that was fun.
I'm glad we entertained you.
Fire.
Alright, I'll go with Varg. We'll move on for now.
No room.
We can come back to that after we have some more ideas.
So what horrors fill this room to its brim?
So in here, there's an empty funnel-mouthed bottle on a table in the middle of the chamber, fallen on its side. Water is dripping every few seconds from a pipe in the ceiling directly above it, and it splashes on the side of the bottle. And at the far end of the chamber, on a wide glass table, there are 4 large glass bulbs, each with a few pinches of colored powder in them, each with a rusty spigot at the bottom.
Neat. Put the bottle right side up.
Water falls straight down into its neck and splashes at the bottom of the bottle.
How big is the neck?
Pardon me?
How big is the neck of the bottle? Like,
About a half-inch in diameter.
not very big then.
It's got a large bulb, but the top of it's just a narrow, fluted bit.
Okie dokie.
Let's go examine those things, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now.
So these 4 bulbs of powder. It seems like you use the spigot at the bottom to dispense a bit of the powder, but they're not labeled in any way, and all you can see through the cloudy bulbs is that there is red powder, one of black, one of blue, and one of green.
I like green. Take a pinch. Plunk it in the bottle.
Yeah, you just empty it into your hand.
Yeah, I just take a pinch. Yeah.
Okay, you open the spigot at the bottom, and you have a bit of green powder in your hand, about a teaspoon worth, and you empty it into the bottle in the middle of the chamber. The water turns green.
I have victory.
Slightly predictable. What are we supposed to do with this?
I have no idea.
Let's go check out some of the other rooms.
Hold on. When the water was hitting the fallen over bottle, it was dripping into the grooves in the floor?
Yeah, it was just running off the bottle into the floor.
Okay, so I'm just seeing the map, and it seems like it's going somewhere.
I'm a fairly big fan of rat. I'll take a pinch of that.
You take a pinch of the red powder.
Into the bottle it goes.
It goes into the bottle, and this time it changes color, but this time you hear a light hissing briefly.
I'm gonna detect magic now.
That bottle in the middle is definitely now contain. There's a magical aura to the liquid inside.
What school of magic?
It is. Just a second.
Well, considering it's the red, he took a pinch of the green and the red. It's the magic of Christmas.
It is illusion.
Sorry, what was that? You got a little garbled.
Illusion.
It's probably an illusion that changes the water's color.
So did it change to red now?
It's now a murky middle brown between green and red.
Alright. Yes, I have a feeling this might go with something else.
Yeah, let's look at all the rooms because this might, because we're
Might
tackling
be
this
one
as
giant puzzle. Yeah.
we're tackling this as individual puzzles, but it might all be one thing.
Yep. Next room. Lukewarm commodities. Open. Yeah, I do see the stain there. I'm assuming it's water.
Yeah, that's not water, that's ice. There's not
I
enough
hate
of it to be
cold.
really slippery, but it is definitely ice.
Mm.
Give me
Lukewarm
just-
commodities, my arse.
Give me just a sec. I'll be back in just a moment.
That doesn't seem very lukewarm.
I
My
said I
set.
wanted a nice room. So we got books that looked like they were burnt before we got here, and in this corner we got a room made of ice.
Yes. I really have no idea what's going on anymore.
Seems like there may be some sort of connection there.
Okay. You open the door. And the floor in here is covered in smooth, clean ice. And at the back of the chamber, the walls seem to give way to two slices of glacier and rock. Where they meet, there's a bowl of cold blue-looking water, on which dances a deep blue flame.
Neat. I'm going to just go to a different room because I don't like the cold. Let's try this door.
Let's see what's behind door number 4.
Demons!
The door opens to your touch, and immediately past the boundary of the door, the floor is perfectly smooth, polished white. There is nothing inside that you can see from here other than a wooden cabinet and a bed.
Well, none of this makes sense to me.
More detect magic looking in, because private chambers implies this might be something making it private.
Nothing notable that you can see from there.
I'm gonna step a foot in.
Step on the floor and it sounds different, but it sounds like it's a different material, but there's nothing else that happens as you enter.
I'm going to do something that's never ever gotten me in trouble and go lay in the bed.
Oh boy.
Remind her of the fact that she did go to bed. She got in trouble twice.
All right, who's following her in?
Not me.
I'll
I'm staying by the
float in.
door.
Okay, Goriel, you start to follow her in, but as soon as she touches the bed, you feel a wall of force start pushing you back, and you feel yourself shoved all the way out of the room, and the door slams behind you.
Why did we let her lay on the bed?
Mark shrugs, because if we said no, she wouldn't listen anyway.
Alia,
She's dead.
you hear the door slam and a Coriel grunt in surprise. Turn, see the door shut, and when you turn back, you notice a form slowly take shape sitting on the bed beside you. It's you can't really tell looking straight at it. It's constantly shifting and slowly becoming more opaque, but whoever it is, it's someone extremely attractive to you.
Awesome. This seems like my kind of room. I don't. No need to try to rescue me, fellows.
Slowly he becomes more opaque and he sits there on the bed, waiting.
Hello.
Hello. Is there anything I can do for you tonight?
Do you know anything about this place?
I'm afraid my knowledge doesn't go much beyond my duties. Could I assist you? A massage? A neck rub? Or I could just dance for you, my lady.
Those all sound like great options. Again, really, no need to try to rescue me, fellows.
What do you want me to do?
That wasn't sarcasm.
Can we hear her from out there?
No, the door and that wall of force holding it shut seem to be completely opaque to sound.
Fine.
Well, Varg, do you want to try and break it down, or should I?
Just move. Can I open the door?
The door does not move to your touch.
I touched it with a claw. Is it wood?
It looks like iron-bound wood, but it's mostly wood. Yeah.
So it feels like wood.
Right, is the
Does
door
it give
magical
like
now?
wood?
You cannot see the door itself through yet another of those opaque magic walls.
Wow, lovely. So the wall of force is in the way before the door.
And now it's not.
The best spell.
Just a second. Alrighty. Alia, inside, the shadowy the shadowy illusion has just started dancing for you and begins performing a very slow striptease when suddenly there is a great bang at the door, and you see a sort of haze in the air at that end of the room. The illusion that's dancing for you doesn't seem to notice.
Go away.
Varg, you do hear that.
I debate listening to it, but is the force field down?
You have shot it with a green beam. You haven't yet tried to open the door or anything.
Try to open the bloody door.
You grab the door handle, and it does not turn.
Back up. Fuck that door in general.
This is gonna get nasty.
1 second. Not familiar with that one.
Well, that is a very lovely spell.
That does not work on objects.
Oh, well, that's a
Yeah,
shame.
it's creatures.
Yeah, that lets you look around and implode a creature at a time for 10
I was
rounds.
gonna stare at it and keep blowing it up, but if that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Wall of force, how much does it typically have?
I was hoping the fucking disintegrate would do it, but apparently it didn't.
You'd think it would, but...
Here's my backup pilot.
Yes, well... A wall of force is immune to dispel magic. I don't know about greater.
Well, greater can get rid of most things.
Dispel magic. Let's see here. Greater, and I assume you're making a targeted dispel, or?
Yeah, target dispel against the whatever's keeping this door shut.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's not actually a wall of force.
Varg, to target a spell aura and not a creature, you need to be able to target the aura. Do you have Detect Magic?
Right here.
Okay. Cast that first. I know it's 0 level, but yeah. I assume you look for the spell itself first, then.
Well, yeah, if it's not clearly obvious like this last one was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you can see that there is an aura behind the door and an aura on the door jamb, but there isn't an aura in front of the door anymore.
Let's go with the one on the behind. Let's go with behind. I'll work on the door jam my own way.
All right. Go ahead and make your dispel check.
That's
Always do.
just level, right?
Doing
D20 and caster level, yep.
While he's doing that, I'll try and examine the thing on the door jam from here.
Yeah, if it's greater dispel, you get +10 to it too, don't you?
Well, 39 then.
Greater dispel. You get +4 when using it as a counter spell, but I don't see anything about a bonus when you're doing a targeted dispel.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, that's 29, which is average, so there you go.
Okay. Varg, you hurl disruptive energies forward, and they just sort of peter off and turn into weak sparks of energy around the door before fading out.
I'm running out of tricks, but not yet.
I'm gonna be taking a
Who's
look at.
door?
No boy.
Just
While
I
he's doing
said
that,
so away!
I'm gonna try and look at the aura on the door jam.
I'm blowing
Alright,
the door
just-
out of existence.
Just a second. Inside the chamber, Alia, the figure is still performing that dance for you, but he starts moving closer and starts rubbing his hands down your arms.
Bow chicka bow bow.
Please,
door
milady, just
explodes.
let me know if I can be of any service to you.
Door explodes, door explodes.
I can think of a few services you can perform.
I need an adult.
Actually, now that I think of it.
You emit an ear-splitting yell that deafens and damages creatures in the path. Any creature...
It does affect objects. I know
Object,
that.
there we go. Any exposed, brittle, or crystalline object takes d6. Creature holding fragile objects can negate. And it's not greater shout.
Like if it was.
Hold up. 30-foot cone.
I'm right in front of the door, unless this
Yes,
cone
yes.
somehow blows up the walls.
Yes, I know.
Ow, my face.
Alia, you can hear raised shouts outside the door, but the door continues to not move.
Varg,
Your friends sound mildly concerned.
Varg, as much as I love blowing things up, can we try this really quick? I'm gonna grab him and dimension door in.
I said
Okie
go
dokie.
away!
Or at least try to, anyway.
Okay. You attempt to teleport into that room.
I am one step away from casting Earthquake on this, you know.
You start to transit, and you feel like something in the destination is blocking you, and you feel yourself thunk back onto the floor outside the room, and you each take 7 damage.
Lovely.
And I shoot you looking just disintegrate the whole damn thing already.
Fine with me.
Door. Be rid of it.
Yeah, sure, let's go with disintegrate.
Okay. The door dissolves in a spray of green energy.
Can we see past it now?
Just a second.
I don't know if we want to see now.
The door dissolves away, and you can see inside. There's some shifting, shadowy figure that you can't really identify or make out it as anything in particular, moving about in front of Alia as she sits at the end of the bed. And when the door disappears, though, it suddenly wheels around and stares at you guys, and then turns back to Alia. Just a second. There we go. It screams it screams in anger and maybe even betrayal, and suddenly leaps at Alia, trying to claw at her.
Thanks a lot, guys. I said go away.
Well, it's very
Just
likely
this.
you're being bewitched.
Okay, next time I'm just gonna let you be eaten.
One second, destroy the door, and open the VBL layer. There we go. And no, it shouldn't be at 5, it should be at... There we go. Okay. And it claws violently at Alia, screaming nonsense about why and what are you doing.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. We saved you from a horrible fate.
I'm going to murder you.
Well, it depends on what's left of you. How does Sappy feel about all of this? That's the question.
Goriel, you regain your senses first.
Sappy's my weapon, not my boyfriend.
Is there still a wall of force here?
Not one that you can see, and when the door went, so did that aura that was around its perimeter.
Okay. Alright then. Gotta get rid of this guy.
Though you can now clearly see that the room is filled with some kind of illusion.
Yeah, like they was letting that thing run around it. Right, okay. Is there any... I should still detect magic, right?
Mhm.
Is there anything in there that magic is more concentrated around? I'm gonna move farther in.
Only that what definitely looks like some kind of shadow illusion that is now attacking Alia.
Alright, well, I'm gonna copy what Varg did earlier and just hit it with a Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Greater, but yeah.
Begone, foul demon.
Pretty much.
Make your check.
Spell Magic Greater, so that's just a targeted spell on the thing.
Okay. You hit it with waves of abjuring magic, and it breaks, shatters, and then disappears in wisps of shadow. And in the silence left behind in the wake of its screams, you hear some sort of cracking glass somewhere in the room, and then the room begins looking like the rest of the dungeon, old and decayed, like everywhere else in here, and with plain with plain carvings on the floor. The walls are no longer as smooth as they once were, and you definitely heard that glass cracking sound somewhere at the end here. Also, this cabinet that was there, the cabinet disappears, and a couple uh, a couple dozen small vials, almost like potion vials, fall to the floor and splash their contents all over the floor. Apparently the cabinet itself was illusory.
Note to self: ask Granny Kai how you cast this spell.
Note to self: throw the Leah off bridge with wings tied.
I don't
An
suppose
anchor.
Var could just hold her back from jumping on the next bed she sees.
I could try, I guess. Be a drag maneuver, though.
I'm sure you're very capable of it.
Yeah, man.
Alia, you were under no sorts of compulsions or spells or anything.
What part of go away don't you guys get?
The part where you're locked in a magically sealed room.
With an illusionary monster trying to eat your face.
Wasn't trying to eat my face till you broke in.
No, it was just giving you a rather pleasant lap dance until the door broke down.
Yeah, we didn't see that part, nor do we want to see that part, nor do we want to believe that part ever happened. So I'm just going to assume it was eat your face and you thought it was giving you nice things. And I can't move.
Right.
Is the bed still here?
The bed is still there, although now you expected everything to develop a slight coating of dust once the illusion dropped, but the bed still seems as clean as ever.
So this
And you
basement's
see
been
all the
clean.
pillows in the blanket.
Right. You start to
I'm
strip
gonna go see
strip
what's
the
on the
bed
backboard that broke.
of its fine silk sheets, and you notice a small puff of smoke that was stuck underneath the bed by the covers.
What?
Like there was some smoke caught underneath.
That's wacky.
Varg, the headboard doesn't seem to have anything broken about it, but where that smoke came from is certainly a mystery.
This basement has been generally clean, right?
Except for dust, yeah.
Let's see if I can locate where that smoke is coming from.
You crouch down on your knees and see that there is a small crystal orb sitting underneath the bed, right at its center. There's a brass plate on the wooden base of the sphere as well.
Does it say anything, that plate?
Well, you'd have to drag it out from under the bed to tell.
Goriel, I found a magic thingy under the bed. Please get a stick.
I think a mage hand would probably work better.
Okay, that'll do.
You mage hand the crystal ball out from underneath the bed and find that there is the plaque is inscribed in Assyriani, and the globe itself is cracked and smoking.
Odds are that's what got hit with the spell. Don't really know what that says, though.
I can read it. What's it say?
It reads, "In memory of my beloved concubine, rest in peace, Numenia Alri, 381 IR to 15 EI."
Depending on the dating scheme, that could be a very long time to live.
Hmm. Well, it has sentimental value. I'm sure it's worth something.
Well, I have cleaned this room of its precious pillows and sheets. So
Bring that thing too with the broken thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some quick examination here. I want to know exactly how it was doing that.
Mirage Arcana, I guess.
there, and I'm marking that on my character sheet as pillows and sheets from Magic Sex Basement.
Yay. Okay, not excessively long, though.
See, I was wondering if it was the kind of date where it counts down from the old one.
Someone who lived from 381 IR to 15 EI would have died at the age of 26.
Yes, that's very reasonable. Okay. Well, unless you're an elf.
And looking around, you can see there is now nothing magical about this chamber, except what you carried in with you.
Not even the orb, even if it was dispelled?
It is completely broken.
Lovely. Yeah, I'll take it with me. Might find something about it.
Well, in fairness,
Okay.
that is sort of what we were brought here for. So let's go to the next room, I guess.
Right. Should we get rid of the bed, even though you took the...
Fun ruiners.
That was
Mhm.
loud.
Next time I'll let the Succumbus just eat you.
Should we get rid of the bed entirely, instead of just the sheets and pillows?
If you want to set it on fire, it's your own business. Me, I'm curious about the center thing now, because I guess we solved that part.
How much do you suppose the bed weighs?
It is a good heavy oaken frame, and it is a double mattress. The bottom is probably spring coil, but I suppose the top half would be goose down?
Hmm. What do you suppose the best way to get rid of this is, people?
Fire.
Banish it to a distant plane. No.
That would be the easiest way if I could, but
Casting gate just to get rid of the bed is not worth it.
Yeah.
I could use some points and
I would do
disintegrate it
that.
again.
yeah, you could just disintegrate it. That's true. It is disintegrate just outright destroys non-magical materials. So
Yes, it does.
I'll go in here,
that might be a good way to get rid of the books, actually.
get a pinch of everything, and just start hurling it into the glass.
It might be, but the question is,
Yeah,
disintegrate
well-
usually only works on like one object at a time.
Yeah, we'll come back to that after we've seen the other rooms.
Right.
I'm doing the system of trial and lots of error, which is mostly just me putting different colors in here in order of what color I like the most. I like black next, so we'll put black in.
Woohoo! I had the foresight to steal expensive crap. The funny thing
Right.
is, I'm probably just going to use that for my betting.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my Pearl of Power to get disintegrate back.
Okay.
Let's open this next door then. Better be another one of those rooms, or I'm going to be pissed.
Where are you guys going?
They are headed into a door labeled wine cellar.
Yeah.
The door opens easily to your touch.
Oh, this looks familiar.
Is it wine?
Booze? Booze forever?
There appears to be a small rectangular mid-foyer with several armored statues in it, in front of the wine cellar proper. This room is filled from ankle height all the way to the ceiling, which in this little bulb of a chamber is 9 feet up, with racks and racks of wines.
Didn't see that coming.
Excuse me, I'm gonna get boozed up for the day. I'm just gonna grab as many as I can carry and just shove them in my body and go on with my life.
You pull a bottle off of the shelf, and after a couple seconds, the empty gap is filled with a bottle that slides forward from somewhere behind the shelf in the darkness.
Is Varg just going to live here now?
Yeah, I'm living here. See you guys.
Great, it's a dairy rack, but it's filled with wine.
I'm gonna take a pull on this wine though. I want to see what flavor we got to work with here.
It is a decent vintage that you probably cannot appreciate. It tastes like a brandy, actually.
Actually, you'd be surprised. Varga's been drinking a lot of different kinds of booze from a lot of different places. He might be developing a taste for this.
That doesn't mean he has discerning.
Yeah, that's true. So he will know good from bad, theoretically.
The only
yeah.
dis words Varg knows is disintegrate, disinterested, and disapproval.
What about disgusting?
No, he doesn't know that one. Everyone
Not
else
very
thinks
well,
it about
at
him.
least. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out a way to teleport this particular room where I wanna, or at least take it all with me somehow. But we'll work on that later. Out through this door.
So, we're not clear enough. I want us to clear out this wine cellar as well.
Well, I'll be working on that. Don't worry about that. I will be clearing that out personally. So that leaves 3 rooms we've yet to technically clear out. A cold room I don't want to touch at the pull, something to do with liquids, and something to do with books.
Let's pour the liquids on the books.
Alright, fair enough. Okay, so
It might
this
work.
here
The-
glass full of green and red. I'll
Yes.
pick it up and try and leave with it.
It stays in your hand as you leave the room.
Okay, and I enter this room.
Okay.
I pour it on the book pile.
Pour it on the book pile. Nothing of note happens except a couple books get wet.
Well, that's
Awesome. Well, if we can make the books all soggy, that'll make getting rid of them a little easier.
Okay, now I'm going to. So you said there were stoppers on these, right?
They're spigots, yes. Hold on
And they
just a
lead
moment.
to.
Coriel, as you
Sorry.
move aside to let Varg get back out of the room, when you turn back, you notice that all of the books on top of the pile appear to be dry.
Lovely. So getting them wet won't do anything, unless one of those liquids actually does something.
And yes, Varg, twisting those spigots seems to dispense a single teaspoon of each of the dyes, each of the powders, pardon. Also, they're all getting fairly low.
I'll take a teaspoon of each and put it inside the mixture in the bottle.
Okay.
Using the little spigots this time.
All right. As soon as you add the third one, instead of getting a mixed color, what you get is a thick, gloopy, disgusting smelling mess. I'm just going to assume you went from left to right with those bottles, by the way.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You notice that there is very, very little of the blue powder left.
I'm just scratch up in my head and declare that my intelligence is too low for this crap.
I'll come take a look. I was trying to figure out if there's anything else I could do with those books.
Oh, this is completely beyond me.
I'm going to look at the cold chamber more closely.
I'll join you with that. I'm not going
Okay.
in, but I'll watch.
Yeah, you go inside and you notice that the cold is sort of being kept at bay by these two braziers at the front of the room. Yeah, it's as it appeared. Still, the floor is covered in smooth, clean ice at the back. The walls seem to give way to rough glacier and rock, and where they meet, there's a bowl of water on which is dancing a blue flame.
I'm going to examine this flame.
You come closer and you begin to realize that the dancing flame is not a flame, but a dancing figure of transparent fire. And when it sees that you have noticed it, it becomes a little more opaque and takes on a female figure and stares at you questioningly.
Hello.
Good evening. And what brings you to my home?
Granny Kai asked us to clean this place out.
She hasn't the will to come down herself and evict me?
I'm guessing not. Where'd you come from?
I have always been down here.
Oh, cool. Do you know how the book puzzle's supposed to work?
What books?
I'll take that as a no. So what's your deal?
She swells up to meet your own height and steps out of her brazier. Well, that depends entirely upon you, my dear.
This sounds promising and in no way threatening.
I grow bored staying here. Been here far too long with too few visits from the landlord. If he,
I'm going to just use my paladin abilities to detect evil while she's talking.
yeah, she rings pretty clearly evil.
I'll keep that in mind while dealing with her. Thank you.
Varg pokes his head in slightly. Did you find anything?
Yeah, Varg, just stay back. I'm talking to this nice person here.
Yes.
Okay. If you get in trouble again and we hear moaning, I'm not coming in.
Fair enough.
Yes, Varg, you look in and see that Alia seems to be talking with some bright blue naked woman.
You heard me.
Yep.
Zan?
No. Bright blue. Zan when she's glowing.
Boom boom.
As I was saying, I grow quite bored here. It might be a good time to move on. If you've the strength to endure my icy allure, spend an hour in my loving embrace, I will leave this place never to return.
You heard what Varg said. I'm gonna shut the door if I start hearing things.
She seems to be genuine with her offer.
So if somebody can spend an hour in your icy embrace, you'll leave?
It's a fair enough offer to pay for the time I have spent simply languishing here.
Okay. Hey, Emma, you want to come spend an hour with this lady?
Emma approaches and sees the figure, and she bares her teeth and lifts her spear. I would rather not consort with such as her.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be doing that. I draw my bow as I back up. I suggest you leave.
She steps back onto her onto the bowl of water that seems to serve as a brazier, and becomes a fiery and transparent once more.
Hey, Varg, you got earthquake prepared?
Not. No. Yes, but I'm not casting it just because you and your newest lover have a spat. Why do you must do bone everything we come across?
I have not once boned anything.
You just had a shade all up in your business.
I never had a chance to.
Well,
I'm very glad that I'm looking at the water and powder puzzle right now.
We need to clear this place out. She won't leave. Clear her out.
I'm just gonna glance down the hall from the room I'm in and see if they need any help.
For God's sake, you guys stay here.
You can see that Emesua
Knock,
has her
knock.
spear raised and Alia has her bow drawn.
Just cover the entrance, please. Why am I being knock knock? Anyone here?
The ice nymph steps out of her brazier and takes on the shape of a female lizard folk, cold and blue in her coloring.
Nice try, but I'm not actually as I seem. Long story.
Can I
Regardless.
surprise attack her? Can I try to surprise attack her in the eye now?
I kind of shut the door behind me, so I guess I have to open it, but yeah. Regardless, Margaret's gonna talk to her. Yeah, wrong form for that kind of thing.
Oh, but dear, nothing matters about our seemings.
That's nice. So, we're trying to clear the stuff out of here. Do you mind scooting?
I would be more than happy to leave if someone would simply spend some time with me.
You want to play cards?
She reaches out to brush the back of her hand down your face.
Is it cold?
Her hand touches your face, and it's quite warm, considering. Pleasantly so.
Okay, he basically licks the tip of his nose. So, no or yes to the cards. I'm confused.
My
I don't know
dear,
why you'd want to stay
we
here.
can play any game that I like. Roll will save.
Okie dokie.
Dumbass.
Or blinks.
Okay, you felt something try and grab hold of you, and you suddenly realize that she does not have your best intentions in mind, and that being this close would probably be a bad idea in the immediate future.
Oh, about to grab. Can I roll initiative, I mentioned?
Yeah, you guys go ahead and roll initiative. I need to actually
Ah,
put
you already rolled
her
for me.
initiative on her token. Oh, yes, pardon. Apparently I clicked cancel instead of stop. There we go. Okay, let's see here.
The door's just closed and not locked, right?
Correct. Come on. Oh, remove from initiative. Roll initiative. There we go. Check, check, and... Okay. The door is closed, and you can't hear that clearly through the door. So I suppose that, Alia, you can't actually act very first until you're aware that something has actually happened inside there. Don't worry, that's going to in just a moment. Okay. The ice nymph, infuriated that Varg is not going to cede to her.
Completely oblivious is a good term for it.
Yep. Is going to... Where the hell is her sheet? Oh, right, I have it in Combat Manager. There we go. Sorry, lost track of her character sheet. Check, check. Alrighty, she... Oh, she can actually do this successfully once per day, not just one attempt per day. So she's going to definitely play her biggest thing first, and slap both of her hands across Varg's face. Varg, will
Stop
save.
punching me!
It's just a touch attack, actually. Okay, that's a little more in her favor then. Varg, you feel your soul partially detached from your body before you elastically snap back and shake your head.
Oh, my soul.
I need to know what effect this is before I determine if I do anything about it. Or can
Yep.
do. Okay, I got to use a hero point to stop that. Add 4 to the save. Does that change the situation?
That does not.
Well, I can't take it back,
Also,
so...
you can technically only use those to change
Oh, wait,
before the result has been revealed.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can look at your number and determine whether you want to burn it, but carry on.
Yeah, I can't. Well, I can't burn. Can't
You
burn
can
it 'cause-
re-roll, but you can't just add.
Oh, I can re-roll. So if I see the effect, then I can re-roll. That's how that works.
Yeah.
I'll take a re-roll, I suppose.
Go ahead and try.
Yeah, not really any better.
Sadly, no.
Well, that's that. I'm just stunned and 5 negative levels. I'll keep track of that.
Okay.
Well, that's bad.
Oh, I can cure temporary negative levels. It's permanent ones I can't cure.
That's
And
a stun that
everyone,
annoys me.
yes, and everyone outside definitely hears her shriek of rage and Varg's sudden, "Ugh, what the hell?"
Right, let's
Coriel.
open the door then. I've always been confused of what type of action opening a door is, honestly.
Opening a door is a move action.
And that's a double move just for me to get there and open the door.
The door swings open.
Though I will use my Swift to recall a certain spell. You might as well go on. I have 6 things to spend here.
Okay. Emesua.
Oh no, you didn't. And she's going to just a sec.
Six. There we go.
6 points burned to...
I have recalled the spell Elemental Assessor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have her. Have her use bolt on her.
Sorry, have her use...
At will lightning bolt.
Oh, okay.
She can cast that defensively without having to make the check. So just 10d6 reflex save 16 to half.
Just a moment.
I don't use Emma's spells enough.
Reflex. DC?
It was 16. She has it.
She evades it.
Okay, doke.
Varg is stunned. What just happened? Alia.
Who are you people?
So yeah, first a non-action to do an intelligence check to see on this thing. I'm assuming it's. I'm assuming that it's not an engineering thing, which means I use my 22 check, and I'm just going to jack of all trades it to get an automatic 42 on the check.
Okay. With what you detected earlier and the very dazed and confused look Varg has and what you can see of her form right now, you're pretty damn sure that this is some form of succubus.
Yeah, I'm more worried about its weaknesses. I want to make sure that my arrows will actually damage the thing.
A typical succubus is immune to electricity, fire, and poison.
Okay. I'm not going
And
to pull
usually
any...
has acid and cold resistance, although that may not still be true with this particular ice-wreathed example.
Okay. I'm not going to pull any punches, so I'm going to have Sappy take down his merciful quality as his standard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start singing as my swift song of inspire courage.
Okay.
And then
That
I'm
one
going
benefits
to
everyone in hearing, hearing and sight, right?
hearing or sight. You
Okay.
choose when you start it. So I'm audible that one.
All right.
And then I'm going to unleash a full attack on it. So with rapid shot. So
Everybody duck.
thank God for precise shot. Yes.
The two bodies in the way is still going to grant her partial cover.
Yeah, she gets soft cover. That's fine. So yeah, that negates my 2 hit for my inspire courage. No biggie.
Sounds
rapid
good.
shot takes it. Rapid shot gives me a -2 to hit, but there we go. So first one is my first shot, which has my many shot attached to it. So -2 to damage, +4 to -2 to hit, +4 to damage.
That actually catches her in the shoulder.
Okay, this one's just for damage then, because that's 2 arrows.
Yep.
Oh, damage should be 4 higher on that. Sorry.
Okay. Just a second. Ignore the merciful. And does Discordant Voice apply right now?
Let me double check.
She is 35 feet away from you, if that matters.
Yeah, let me check the wording on it.
Okay.
It says something about your allies' projectiles not working if they're within 30, but whenever allies within 30 feet of you deal this damage stacks with other damage. Projectile weapons bestow this damage, but it's only dealt if it hits a target within 30 feet of you, if it's a projectile.
Okay, so no Discordant right now. All right, your pair of arrows sinks deep into her shoulder.
It doesn't look too deep. Okay, next one's then. -2. Oh, actually. So rapid shot gives me another one at my full base. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. Is a hit.
And the other ones are coming. That's all of them.
Okay, that last one actually misses. She finally manages to dodge one of them. That's total of... There we go. Okay. You used the swift, you used standard, okay. Her turn. There we go. She is going to slap Varg across the face one more time.
For good luck. Why not?
Well, this one won't drain negative levels, but it's still a touch attack. D20 plus.
It's gonna hit.
Yep. That's why I didn't bother asking the question. And you don't have any spell resistance at the moment?
No, not in this form.
Okay.
Only when I'm big and scary. Okie dokie.
And then she retreats to stand on her brazier. And she can't do a withdraw, so Amesua can make an AOO as she goes.
Tail slap.
I'm not gonna tail slap and push her onto her brazier. That's what she wants.
Push her backwards. Something. Do something.
That lands.
Discordant voice actually does hit her because it's not a projectile.
Emisua is 35 feet from you.
Ah, damn. Okay, never mind.
Alright, so that hits her for... A Corial.
Okay.
Bear in mind that ice is... No, wait a minute. You're always flying, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep. That ice is slippery, so if you do touch ground, be careful.
Only the peasants touch ground. And Varg.
You want to
but
repeat that
I'm-
with him
Yeah,
visiting?
I'm not calling Varg a peasant.
I'm sorry, but how big of a crate do you think I can make with you?
Varg is in a class of his own.
Oh, acceptable.
Just going to move in there, and I'll fire off the Elemental Assessor, which is why I didn't really add it to my spell list. It's going to be used right now.
Okay.
Okay, it's a touch attack. So I am within range. So standard.
Let's see here. The Zara champions developed this to deal with fiends with unknown resistances. You make a successful ranged touch attack, which you do, to hit your target with the ray, which does 2d6 acid, 2d6 cold, 2d6 elect, and 2d6 fire. One that does the most then persists, dealing another 4d per round for another d4 rounds. Nice. Roll your d4.
Right. Nice.
It's still one more round.
Yeah, I figured that even if we have information on general succubus, this one's apparently made of ice.
Okay, the one that does the most points of damage, I'm assuming that's after any resistance soaking?
Probably that would make the most sense for what it is, but that doesn't say anything specifically.
Yep.
Should I roll a 2d6? 4 times.
I've got a quad of 2d6 lined up here.
Okay.
Okay, in that order. So this is acid, cold, Fire. It is a pity that this is so high a spell level, because you can't really afford to maximize that in order to make it more effective against more powerful things.
Well, I could have.
Right. All right. So those 4 needles fly out. Most of them seem to melt away instantly on contact with her on her skin, but one of them does. The green one does strike home and persist.
Acid damage, huh? Okay. Right. Let's do a free action for some spell resistance.
Okay.
Where is that on here? There it is. Is there anything else I want to do? No, that should be it.
Alrighty. Emesua.
Okay. Oh, I never read their spells for the day. That was stupid of me. Greater Restoration, Varg. Have fun.
Yay! I no longer have negative levels. I feel happy.
Now go
It's
rip your
not-
face off for me.
Yeah, pretty much. She did.
Your
It's
turn.
not gonna be.
Check. Okay, good. Varg.
She did.
Kill.
Well, I'm gonna go kill you now.
I see you. She did.
I move there. I become huge and angry.
Make
And then
your
tear her face
choice. Make your choice of a reflex or an acrobatics to determine whether you stay upright.
Reflex I then. Two.
Pound, pound, pound. Swoop.
Don't particularly care. Still continuing turn. I'm perfectly fine kicking her ass from prone, to be completely honest. Activate rage, so I'll just use this as temp HP. It works best. Okay. So that's rage. So furious kicks in, and I'm going to use a swift action to transform into my biggest, scariest form. And I can fit because, well, compression. So yes, behold, the solid wall cube thing of angry Varg.
Laying on his back.
Yes. Well, he's
Roar.
not really Varg. It's big crocodile on his back, but more or less
Yeah,
something.
I'm not bringing it into stuff in these tight corridors.
No. You don't have to do that. I have the picture myself. I'll just.
You can still kick her from there.
There you go.
That's good enough. And
So
is
yeah,
probably
that.
representative. You open the door, and that's on the other side.
There you go. Right. So I still have a standard action, so I'm gonna bite her head off. I will take penalties because I'm prone, but I'm raging and have a retarded chance to hit right now.
Yeah, your feet are pointing towards her.
So are my mouth.
Well,
Okay,
they-
fine.
No. Your feet were pointing towards her when you were in lizard man form. Your tail's
Okay.
pointed her way right now.
Can I turn as a free action?
You can right yourself as a move action.
You're very annoying about that. Okay, fine.
Unfortunately, prone is supposed to be a big problem to deal with.
Fine, I'll beat the shit out of her with my tail. What do I care? I just need to calculate something, because it is a little difficult with the tail. Are you singing, by the way?
Yep.
Alia
okay.
is.
So that's 4 more. Okay, cool. Does a 44 hit your AC?
Not with the penalty you're suffering for being prone.
Okie dokie. So he flails his tail at her and looks angry.
Yep.
She really picked the wrong person to piss right the fuck off. Oh yeah, my turn's done.
You're the one who came in here.
I was being perfectly civil.
Alia.
Okay, so I'm maintaining my song. Let me check on something. Oh, it's darker down here than I thought. Shouldn't those braziers be light sources?
They're only smoldering coals.
Okay. Actually, I think Emma's supposed to be a light source too.
Is she carrying anything that should be a light?
Well, yeah, she has a magic weapon.
Yes, but does it glow brighter than its aura?
Okay. Whatever. Oh, Varg is blocking the vision. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I'm prone, like, taking up 99.9% of the space in here. I don't think anyone's seen by me.
Yeah,
You see my
I thought
face.
Yes, he has plugged the hall.
Well, good job, Varg. You've stopped me from being able to do anything to help you.
You're a magic battery. You stick your hands on my face or tail or whatever you can reach, and give me enough energy to stomp whatever it is that's bothering us to paste.
Which would sound more intimidating if he weren't laying on his back while he said it.
It would also be more intimidating if she wasn't just going to shrink back into the brazier this turn because
Then I stomp on the brazier.
Because I can't stop her now. I'll delay my turn till after Varg.
Okay. Ice Nymph.
This is my buttock. It says hi.
Let's see here. Okay, Varg.
Mm-hmm.
You feel things become very, very cold in your nether regions all of a sudden.
Bad touch.
Not from any direct contact.
Bad game? I don't know.
But from a wall of freezing fire that springs into existence, cutting through you.
Okie dokie.
Let's see here. You now have spell resistance, don't you?
Yep.
Okay, I'll roll against that first. Anyone else in the blue highlighted field of effect?
Yes, I have spell resistance.
Okay.
Emma's immune to cold.
Yep, that's okay. I know she's immune. All right. First one is Varg. Second one is Icorial.
Yeah, that beats
Failed
it.
against me.
Beat
All
mine.
right.
Failed by 1. I win. Doesn't bother me at all.
Yep. Coriel, you are in the second part of it. This is functionally a wall of fire with a different element.
Alright.
Unfortunately, it is not a mere wall of fire. There we go. Icorial, take 6 points of hold damage.
Just double checking things. Okay.
And Varg, bear in mind, if you stay in the field, it is likely to start to hurt.
I failed its spell resistance. I'm completely unaffected by the spell.
You're right, that's resolve her spell.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a spell, but it's a spell. It might be continuous, but I don't want to keep rolling. It just doesn't work.
And even if Varg moves out of the way, it is an opaque wall of white fire at this line.
Until it hits Vog, in which case it becomes an opaque wall of Vog.
Yes. And Icorial.
With Varg in the way, what can I do? Just a big cube of alligator.
Yep.
I'm gonna follow Alia's lead and delay until after Varg's turn.
Emesua.
Gonna delay till after Aaliyah's turn.
Conga line.
Don't move the ice move an Emesua. Okay. Varg.
Standard move action, get up.
1 second. You feel cold hands raking at your skin from the far side of that fire.
He just rolls himself upwards, does not care.
Mm-hmm.
Touch or normal?
Actually, technically, that should be flat-footed. You can't see where it's coming from.
Okie dokie. Not that my flat foot's any real different. Nope, no good. Doesn't hurt. Slash, lots of scale. Nothing really happens.
Your token says your flat-footed is 22. Do you want to revise that?
Well, that's completely impossible because my AC is 44, all of which of 1
Okay,
is dexterity.
So please update your token.
Okay, fair enough.
It still says 30, 16, 22.
I'll fix that.
Back in just a second. Just gonna let my wife in.
Well, it's probably more accurate for my large form is the problem. Okay, there we go.
Back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know why it was lower. It's because the AC I have when I'm in my large and/or medium state is very different from the AC I have in my big state.
Okay.
But yeah, now that AC is accurate for the big state.
Okay.
So, no good. If I can continue the rest of my turn, I'm going to 5-foot shift south to hopefully be able to see her.
There is nowhere you will fit 5 feet to the south. The two
Well, how do I not know where
walls-
she is then? She's right in front of my nose. I know where she is.
You can try, and as normal, you have a 50% mischance.
This is a giant pile of bullcrap. There's no way that you're 5 feet away from someone and not seeing them.
Well, there's this opaque wall of white fire right here.
They're not affected by it in any way, shape, or form.
You're not hurt by it in any way, shape, or form. It's still there, and it's still visible.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bull rush. She may take another attack of opportunity as I am aware she is in front of me. I'm not sure where, but since I take up the entire area, I'm pushing her against the wall.
Okay.
We're not playing this game. And no.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Okie dokie. I'm going to assume that her CMD is in the upper 50s.
Not at present.
Okay. So I'm going to roll a d20. That is not a 1. That's around... That is almost exactly 67.
Yep.
I'm going to assume I have pushed her to the wall. For every 5 I have beaten her by, it's an extra 5 feet of movement, essentially, but I'm going to run out of movement.
Okay, what is it actually, exactly? 13 plus whatever?
Yeah, the fun thing is if you shove one into the wall, you do damage to them.
57 total.
57, thank you.
Every 5 points, it's another 5 feet.
I know.
Sorry, just going to make sure.
Let's see here, let's arrange her to top. You shove her into the back wall and are grinding her into the wall with your snout. However, that brazier that she was sitting over is terribly cold.
Okie dokie, is this a spell effect or what?
This is not magical. It is supernatural.
Okie dokie. Assuming it's cold damage.
Go ahead and fort save for half.
Okie dokie.
That does not halve.
Okay, well, I'm minus 15 from that, so... 24.
Okay.
Let's see, bull rush, turn to a wall, move action stood up, quick into action, nothing really going on, so yeah, it's my turn.
And
Now I know where you are.
Let me just erase that back line of blocking so that the others... I missed it.
Does She Who Stalks get a turn, or is she not in this?
She was not moved near the door, so she is just elsewhere in the basement.
Okie dokie, I was just curious.
Well, Varg's made it so that nobody else can do anything, so I have to go anyway.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
damn, we did go overtime, didn't we?
Yeah, I barely noticed. Oopsie doodle.
All right. Yeah, I'll let Coriel run a turn if he has anything to do, and then we'll continue next session.
I might.
Although you do have to take 6 more cold damage.
Yes.
Okay, thing is, I might have something to do, but it's going to take a lot of... I'm looking up a specific creature I could turn myself into that has the incorporeal subtype.
Right?
See
So
you guys
me-
next week.
See you next week.
Yeah,
Totals.
might just want to save it until next time, because it's going to take me a while to find
Give
a
you
specific
time
thing.
to look it up.
Yeah.
All right. We will resume on your turn next session.
Which will mostly
Okie
just
dokie.
be Varg full attacking this thing and or hurling it.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't eat the ice succubus.
I'm probably going to end up hurling her literally behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Towards you guys.
I'm
Get her
okay
out
with
of her
this.
comfort
I'll
zone.
cover an acid damage, I guess.
Yeah, taking her out of her comfort zone attack, pretty much.
Alrighty. I will see y'all on the 13th.
Totally.
Later.